and you're watching Pro Teaches News. Ooh, is somebody talking about pros? Not that kind of pro. See you there.
Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teaches News. Today I have with me, once again, Alex and Eric.
Hey!
And
Hello
we are
again,
continuing with the Rom Spaceknight. Sorry, no, that's what Gar called it, but you know what I mean.
No, we're going deep diving, baby.
Welcome back to the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. And thanks to me, everybody, and thanks to me, I gave the Goldberg bump to Rob.
Not really.
Yes, he did. I looked it up on TV Tropes.
No. It's a Rom. I thought you said Rob.
No,
you got the bump, man.
Hey, dude, remember, I have a cold.
Misheard.
So my M's sound like B's. Excuse me.
Well, the only prescription for that is more Rom, my friend.
Yeah,
that'll make us all better.
So yeah, we've gone pretty far already within just 12 issues. So much has happened.
I know. We ended on a pretty downer ending, too. Like, where we left off, I mean.
Yeah, especially with the...
Oh, sorry.
I would say, especially with Brandy, with Steve, unknown to Brandy, being replaced by a Dire Wraith. And he just proposed to her. And Rom just got his butt whooped by Jack of Heart.
I know.
Hey, Joel, why did we have to have a movie where people died at the end? I know, it's depressing.
Yeah, but this is also where we're going to get the saga of the Space Knights, as more is going to be filled in about his backstory.
Ooh, okay.
Cross the rainbow roads of Asgard.
Or Galador! Cape Hatteras of the Atlantic coast has seen history in the making. Verrazano stopped here, as did Sir Walter Raleigh. Virginia Dare was born and vanished here. These sands have shifted beneath the feet of red men, the white men, and the black, but seldom have these storm-tossed waves washed over anything like Rom, the Space Knight. Teaser, what are you barking at, you silly dog? What's going into you?
Sprocket, what are you barking at?
That's pretty good there. I had a pretty good dog bark there.
Yeah.
What have you found, Teaser? Teaser, if you made me run over here just to look at a sand crab, the sight that greets the astonished child's eye is no simple crustacean, however. Help me. Gosh, Teaser, it's a man in a suit of armor. He can't seem to move. He must have been washed up on the rocks at high tide last night. The tide's receding now. He'll be swept back out to sea unless... Without stopping to consider her actions, the young girl hurls her fishing net over the metal-encased man. Once he is caught in its mesh, she takes the net fast to a slimy outcropping of stone. The tide's strong, but his weight and the pull of the net should hold him. Now all I have to do is wait. As the afternoon waned, the tide recedes. Tentatively, the girl and her pet approach the motionless man of metal, lying without any apparent signs of life in the still, damp sand. Easy, Teaser. He's alive, or at least he was when he talked to us. Mommy told me never to talk to strangers, but somehow I don't think this is what she meant. Let's be honest, she seemed drawn a little older than what we're led to believe.
I was confused for a second. I'm like, I thought, was she a child? Was she like a teenager?
She's a teenager. She looks 13, 14 to me.
I'd say she's probably closer to 11, 12 if we want to go by, her still saying Mama and Mommy told me never talk to strangers.
Yeah, that's true.
We can't leave him lying here on the sand waiting for the tide to come back in. Ooh, he's too heavy. I can't move him alone. I can move myself now. You're speaking. You're awake again. Who are you? I do not know.
Oh, no, the amnesia episode.
Stiffly, the silver stranger rises, the sea spray shimmering like tiny suns on a steel-like armor. For a moment, the child is frightened by his incredible size, but as the moment passes, she somehow senses that he will not harm her. You mean you've lost your memory? I read about a case like that in Nancy Drew, Mystery. She called it amnesia. Sure, I'll bet that's what you've got. Well, if you don't know who you are, then you can't know where you're from or where you're going. I can't take you home. Mommy and Daddy wouldn't understand, but you can stay here in the old cave. It's dark, but if you can't see, then that means you can't be seen either. Leading the silver stranger by the hand, the child sets him down in the dark recesses of the shadowy sea cave. Don't worry, the tide never reaches this high. It'll get cold after dark, but then you're cold already. Anyway, already. On. Try and rest, okay?
Would you slow down if you can't read? Thank you.
You're cold already. Anyway, try and rest, okay? I'll be back after supper, and I'll try and sneak out something for you to eat. With the child's departure, the stranger is aware of a loss of warmth, of companionship. He only now realizes he felt in her presence. He wanted to ask her questions, but lacking a reference point within himself, had remained silent. And so, haunted by the nameless faces that dance across his mind's eye in the darkness of the cave, Rom waits. Miles to the north, as night descends on the capital city of Washington, D.C. The lights burn in the offices of the muckraking Washington Weekly, but the magazine has been put to bed, and its employees have all gone home. All that is, save one who knows that news never sleeps. Ace, honey, it's a good thing you developed this film yourself instead of giving it to the Max Photo Lab. Once these photos were printed, word of my story would have spread like wildfire. Examining the pictures beneath the dark room's red safe light, reporter Ace O'Connor recalls the epic battle in the top secret Project Safeguard. Here's that young superhero, Jack of Hearts, launching his attack on the alien. Then Rom, as the robot called himself, retaliated. His strength was awesome. He was possessed, and he also possessed weapons, but for some reason chose not to use them against Jack. Jack poured on the power of those incredible energy bursts of his then, and succeeded in driving the robot away into space, where Rom was apparently destroyed. Thus far, the sequence of photographs, while impressive, fails to reveal to Ace any more than she had seen with her own eyes. The next picture to emerge from the developer, however, is different. This is one of the first shots I took. Before Jack of Hearts arrived, Rom disintegrated the head scientist of Project Safeguard, Dr. Rachel Sweet. It was horrible. I can still hear her screaming. But this picture reveals something else.
I had a feeling that's where it was going to go.
Fury, undeniable evil emerging from Sweet's body seconds before she was reduced to ash. No one saw anything like this, yet the camera managed to record it. The robot
never lies.
Rom, he spoke about coming to save Earth from evil aliens who hid among us, disguised as humans. Could he have been telling the truth?
Could be.
The search beam of Cape and Hatteras, the lighthouse, stabs the night. Mommy sent me up here with your supper, and Daddy. Thank you, Tally, honey. Wish I could eat with you and your mother, but the whole coastline's on alert. A lot of pleasure boats have disappeared lately, and I understand, Daddy.
I have to wonder now, though, how the Dire Wraiths got away with, if you film them and they can be seen like that, how they were able to get away with not.
It only caught it, though, as she was disappearing, though.
I see.
It's not like it showed her true self, because see, both are there.
I guess it was in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
That's why.
Yeah.
What are you up to, Tally? Oh, Teaser and I are going to take a walk on the beach. I needn't tell you to be careful. And you were born on that beach. And take your Macintosh and a flashlight, Tally. There may be a fog rolling in. Okay, Mommy. I'll be back about 9 o'clock. See ya. Come on, Teaser. Red and I have always raised Tally to be independent. She'd have to be growing up on this isolated coast, but sometimes I worry about her friends and her not having any friends. Mrs. Lansing might be even more worried if she knew that her daughter was on her way to see a friend who washed up on the beach this morning. The interior of the old sea cave is even darker than when Tally left. The spray-covered rocks sparkle as her flashlight skims over them. Mister, it's me, Tally. Are you still here? I have waited. And I brought you some food. Like I said, I would. But you're going to have to take off your helmet in order to eat. Mister, what are you doing with my flashlight? In Rom's grasp, the flashlight flares in one burst of brilliance, then dims, leaving the child and cyborg in darkness. You touched the flashlight and it went out. Why? Now it's dark in here. I've consumed its power. Before Tally can ponder that, the mouth of the old sea cave is illuminated by the probing beam of powerful searchlight. Someone's coming. Get back into the shadows, mister. The search beams proceed a floating flotilla of disparate and embarrassed vessels, taking advantage of the high tide to forge ahead into the cave. One vessel, a sleek silver hydrofoil, leads all others, and others follow. Only one voice, that of the hydrofoil's captain, commands, "Keep moving, lads! The fog will cover our arrival. 15 vessels, a fine night's haul for the plunderer." The plunderer.
Well, what do you say? Well,
A bit on the nose.
It's Marvel. Of course, every name is on the nose.
Mhm.
Dr. Octopus, Mr. Fantastic, Shocker, Hulk.
Yep. 15 captured vessels of all shapes and sizes, with only two things in common. All are made of wood, and all have been taken from their crew. You won't get away with this, you brigands! Looks like we already have. I'm trying to see what. Yeah, it looks like we already have, matey. But this is piracy. Exactly. Gosh, those are must be the missing pleasure boats Daddy's been on the lookout for. They've all been hijacked by pirates. What are pirates? Gee, you don't know anything, do you? Pirates are sailors who prowl the seven seas, stealing from other seamen, like Blackbeard and Captain Kidd. Just like in the old days, they brought their booty to these beaches. They're bad men, evil men. As the words bad and evil pass in the child's lips, they conjure images from the depths of Rom's consciousness. The magnitude of the malignancy embodied in his vague memory stuns the Space Knight. Are you okay, mister? You act as if you've seen a ghost. Child, you spoke of your father. What would he do if word were brought to him of these pirates? Daddy? He'd call out the Coast Guard, but you can bet the pirates are monitoring all the shortwave frequencies. They'd be long gone before help could get here. Not if they were held in this place. Go, alert your father. I will keep the pirates here. But their arms, you saw their weapons. Nevertheless, go Tally does. And racing across the beach, she has the strangest feeling that it is the pirates she should pity if they come in contact with the Silver Stranger. In the darkness of the sea cave, Rom himself is not so certain. The child spoke of this armor, which encases me as if it were removable. But I know I am the armor, and the armor is powerful. Though Rom is amnesiac, his actions are natural and automatic. His rocket pods respond, lifting him off the cavern floor. When they have borne him deep into the interior of this seemingly endless sea cave, he lands. A hidden harbor. Here, the pirate vessel stands guard over the hijacked smaller craft.
Could you scroll it down just a little bit? Our pictures are in the way. Thank you.
But what of the captive crew members? Cyborg vision scanning the semi-darkness of the cavern's interiors. Rom spies the pirates' hostages. Why have you taken us? What do you want from us? I demand you free us at once. If you're holding us for ransom, you think it's your money the plunderer's after? Idiots! It's not you. It's your fancy wooden yachts he wants. Our yachts? But why? By the time you learn that, it'll be too late to do anything to stop. Huh? Who the blazes are you? Stand back or I'll shoot!
Yes.
Who are you? What do you want?
You scrolled too fast. Scroll back up. Dude, our pictures are in the way. I keep missing.
Hold on. Is this better since it didn't change it that much?
Yeah, I mean that works.
Yeah, it didn't change it that much this time. And not like when we have too many people here.
Yeah, it was overcrowded.
I mean, see what I mean? It's not that much of a difference.
Look, I get it. It's just I'm missing a few details, like his hands crunching the.
Yeah. But now you see it.
Yes, I see it now.
And it's a monster sent by the plunderer to kill us. If that's true, then why is he freeing us from our chains? Go. I have given you your freedom. Leave this place. We can't. The only way out is via the underground canal or channel. And the pirates have our boats. Then your vessels must be liberated. Mister, I don't know who you are inside that suit of armor, But I'm afraid you've lost into more than you can handle. You see, besides conventional weaponry, the Plunderer and his men are armed with ray blasters capable of disintegrating metal. There wouldn't be much left of your tin bodysuit if you were to go up against that bunch. No, there wouldn't not be much left. But there is evil here, and I sense that I have a duty to combat evil wherever I may find it. Are you some kind of superhero then? Like Iron Man? Of course he must be. Where was you, mister? When we've got nothing, what have we got to lose? The Plunderer would have never let us leave here alive. You show courage in the face of overwhelming odds. I have known such bravery before. Follow in my wake. We will carry the fight to the foe. I like it.
Yeah.
His cyborg circuits thrill with the prospect of battle. He commands his ragtag troops like a warrior born. Surely I must have been some sort of soldier, and yet in my heart I feel a man of peace. I am a man of peace. Suffering swordfish, a flying man landing on the hydrofoil's desk. Plunderer, we're under attack. The alarm brings the pirate leader to the hydrofoil's bridge. Fools! Our foe is wearing armor and has given you weapons capable of reducing any metal on Earth to atoms. That's right. With the Plunderer's Vibra ray guns, we're invincible. I ducked just in time. Had those rays struck my metal body, I would surely have died. But why am I like this? Different from all others I meet. I know not whether you are robot or man, my silver stranger, but my Vibra ray cannon shall soon tell the tale. Robot, can it be me? Am I a machine? If only I knew. Arg! The Vibra ray drives the silver cyborg down to the hydrofoil's desk. I live, but the Plunderer said his weapon would disintegrate any metal on Earth. He attacks again. If only I possessed a weapon. No sooner does the thought cross the Spaceknight's mind than his neutralizer appears in his outstretched hand. With one instinctive motion, Rom aims and activates his weapon, reducing the Plunderer's Vibra ray cannon to so much scrap. I do not know how I produced that weapon, but I am grateful. So the Vibra ray did not strip you to the flesh. Then you are a robot, and when the ray hits you again, you'll be in so much scrap metal. Anyone who would knowingly slave another living being is truly evil. I, Lord Parnival's Plunder's, been called that before, but by those he's beaten. I haven't been hijacking all those pleasure crafts to make friends, but to build a vast smuggling network. I need a huge quantities of rare gems called vibranium to power my weapons.
Vibranium.
Yep, vibranium destroys metal. Conventional freighters would have been useless, but small wooden pleasure yachts could carry the vibranium to me a little at a time until the entire world supply was mine. You'd have to go to Wakanda for the rest of it.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck getting past their barriers.
Yep, you no longer control your captured fleet, pirate. Oh, come now, my mysterious metal marauder. Who is there to take it away from me? You? No, Plunderer. Plunderer. The stranger's done his share. He's kept you busy, giving us the chance to overcome the guards you left on our boats.
Yeah, get him.
The Plunderer's pirates reveal themselves for the poor fighters they are. The Plunderer himself, however, is still a threat to be reckoned with. Curse you, Metal Man! I spent months since my escape from S.H.I.E.L.'s maximum security lockup. The Plunderer was jailed, his aborted as assault on the Baxter Building in Fantastic Four 191. Project.
Okay, a lot of comic references in these stories.
Yeah.
If I'm to be continuity and cared about it.
Right. If I'm to be stopped, at least I'll have the satisfaction of destroying you. I sense somehow that the weapon that he has appeared has appeared in my hand of need is capable of killing the pirate.
My hour of need.
My hour of need. I have no desire to take his life, and yet I will defend myself. Fat chance, robot! No weapon on Earth can resist the awesome power of my Vibra ray. You are wrong. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Maybe your fancy ray gun did resist a direct blast, but will you do this and be able to do the same? The pain. Yet, in spite of the pain, you're still alive, still holding together. How can you resist my power? What are you? I am a man. And all at once, Rom knows who he is. Sirens! The Coast Guard! Daddy, there he is. There's my friend. The child was right. This hidden sea cave is a pirate stronghold. The Coast Guard cutters are all made of metal. They stand no chance against our Viper ray guns. Rise, you sea dogs! Victory will still be ours! Not today, plunderer. Not ever. Your swabbies don't seem to have the same world-conquering ambitions as you. Not, at least, when they're on the receiving end of a gun. Spineless fools! Vast riches, power, all could have been theirs had they the courage to follow my lead. But I'll not be trapped like a rat aboard a sinking ship. Not when my specially designed hydrofoil can outrace any Coast Guard cutter ever built. With a backwash of mighty air jets, the sleek pirate craft rises above the water of the hidden and cove and soars straight towards the Coast Guard vessels. Tally, get down! That madman's going to force his way out. But he's got my friend aboard, his boat, Daddy. Hard astern, trained and deck guns on the pirate, and fire! Despite the fierce fusillade from the Coast Guard's craft, the plunderer's hydrofoils breaks through their blockade and emerges, and all off screen! And emerging from the mouth.
We have limited drawings. What can you do?
I know, from the mouth of the sea cave, heading full throttle for the open sea.
It's excusable. This is getting great.
Yep. And there's not a man alive who could catch me now. You! Yes, pirate. I am Rom of the star-soaring Spaceknight, a hybrid craft of man and machine from the planet Galador, come to Earth in pursuit of evil, even greater than your own. And I will stop you. No! My Viper ray gun brought you to your knees before. It can do so again. The taking of a human life is at odds with my mission to protect mankind. Yet, if I ever encountered a human deserving of death, plunderer, that human is you. Moralistic fool! He's turning his back on me, moving to take control of the hydrofoil. But I still retain my Viper ray gun, and with adjustments made for metal of extraterrestrial origin, not even the Space Knight could hope to survive. At that moment, however, fate, in the guise of a barely submerged coral reef, intervenes. No! The hydrofoil is leaning to starboard, and the Viper ray blast I meant for the alien is shearing through the deck towards the engine.
Whoops.
Multiple explosions shatter the night until there is nothing left of the hydrofoil and its passengers but floating debris. It's over, Tally. No one could have survived a blast like that. Over. Your silver stranger stopped the pirates, honey, so I guess you were right to trust him. But who was he? Where was he from? He came from somewhere far away, Daddy. I'm sure of that. He never told me his name, but I know he was my friend. But then the
beginning returns to Clairton, only to find the fearsome foe waiting for him.
The ultimate android. Or Awesome Andy, as I know him from She-Hulk. He actually gained sentience and became a good guy for a while.
Ah, interesting.
Yep. But yeah, beginning the saga of the Space Knight. 200 years ago, a somber scene was enacted on the golden planet of Galador. The citizenry is assembled for the funeral Prime Director, holding aloft a glowing globe of power, the symbol of his office. The Prime Director of Galador faces the people of his world. The dead await their last rite. Yes, Rom, but it is the living who must be comforted. Children of Galador, hear me! The invaders and who threaten to destroy our world have been defeated. We gather together to mourn the passing of those who sacrificed their humanity, becoming space knights that they might defend Galador against the Dire Wraith. The invasion has driven back the enemy routed, yet not without costing, and these brave souls, not without cost. These brave souls fell that Galador might live. The families of the dead then ascend the stairway of the Space Knights. Young and old, they all grieve. Once the flowers, symbols of life, are placed before the crystal coffins containing the dear departed, the Prime Director sets his glowing globe in a chalice prepared for it. The glowing globe contains the power of Galador's sons, released, and that power is the ultimate expression of solar energy, serving those who die for our world in the fierce inferno of the living fire.
A proper Jedi death.
Yep. As the living fire cremates the slain warriors, each surviving Space Knight bids a silent farewell to his fallen comrades. The people called us the flowers of Galador's youth, brothers and sisters, the pride of a world, the hope of generations as yet unborn. Together we vanquished our foes, the Dire Wraith, but not without paying a terrible price. The moment of silent remembrance concluded. The assembled Space Knights salute the dead one final time. Farewell, warriors. May the gods grant that we one day may meet again in a place of eternal peace. Dead given their due, it is time for the relatives of the surviving Space Knights to rejoice at the return of their loved ones. Brother, my son, daughter, daddy, Rom, my love, I come bearing gift, yet it was you who brought Galador the greatest gift of all, peace. We did that which was necessary to safeguard the world which gave us life, and the world which gave me you, beloved Reyna. Then I ask that world to give you back to me, dearest Rom, not as a warrior encased in hard, cold steel, but as the man to whom I gave my heart. Much as he hates to disrupt the joyous reunion, the Prime Director knows that now he must speak. People of Galador, courageous Space Knights, attend my word. Galador is saved, but the war is not yet over. What do you mean, Prime Director? Have we not driven the invasion fleet of the Dire Wraith far from our sector of space? Such was the mission for which we volunteered, willingly setting aside our humanity to inhabit the soulless steels of these Space Knight forms. That mission we accomplished. The war is over. I, Rom, the courage of the Space Knights, saved Galador from destruction. There are other worlds in other galaxies, less advanced, less able to defend themselves. It is those worlds the shape-shifting race will come. There they will find the primitive people of these planets, mired in superstitions, ripe for subjugation by race science and sorcery. In time, these conquered worlds will become race strongholds, even if we were willing to leave innocent creatures to such a fate. The revived race power might again threaten Galador. No, you cannot mean it. We gave up our humanity to save our people, risked more than death in the hope we could reclaim our humanity if we survive. Now you tell us to go on being inhuman soldiers, imprisoned in cold, unfeeling armor, fighting in a war that may never end, knowing that we could never treat with the Dire Wraith. We had hoped the war would finish with their total destruction, but the race survived by fleeing. As long as they live, their threat can never truly be said to be over. I cannot command that you carry on the fight, Rob. I ask, and you were the first to volunteer, the first to enter the Hall of Science and go under the laser knives of the cyber surgeon, the first to become a Space Knight. No one will fault you if you are now the first to renounce your powers and return to your life and loved ones. Rom, beloved, Galador, and it was that gave us a life and the chance to love beyond the stars. There are other lovers who may be dying because we have let the Dire Wraith escape. I could never be truly happy knowing you'd forsaken your duty for our love. And what of our future, Reyna? What of our love? Our love can never die, dearest Rom. Go, finish this war, end the threat of the Dire Wraith forever, then return and reclaim your humanity. I will be waiting. As the woman he loves turns away, Rom stands racked with indecision. But as the greatest of the Space Knights, his prowess proven in battle with the Dire Wraith. Rom knows that, as he chooses, so will the squadron of surviving Space Knights choose. There is but one answer he can give, though it breaks his cybernetic heart. Space Knights, we have only won a battle, and remember this from many issues ago.
Oh, yeah.
Now we were giving context to it.
Context.
Yeah. We have only won a battle, not the war. The evil of the Dire Wraith lives on, ever replenishing itself by sowing hate and fear and death. I had sought to rest from battle, but there can be no rest for us while the enemy regroups elsewhere. This, then, is our mission, to follow and destroy racekind wherever it may hide, to defend humanity in all its form, to penetrate the darkness with Galador's light, to fight on until the war is won.
Until the war's won.
Hello, or what? Sorry.
Wrong one. Transformers!
Oh,
No!
Rom.
Marvel lost the rights 20 years ago.
No, let's someone shut him up. Here, want this, Spidey?
You remember?
Ice
Yeah,
Age
oh,
3,
yeah.
Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
But
Oh,
this
shit,
guy's really
let's go
going
on.
places.
Alfred? Fred, you spiked his tea?
Okay.
Okay, before we get into it.
Oh my God, look at that guy.
Yep. Fall, Rom, before the power of the man.
Given all the Red Hulk hype, he looks like his deformed cousin.
Fall, Rom,
It
before
really
the power
does.
of the man.
Oh, it's the Mad Thinker.
And his awesome android.
Oh, this is the awesome android.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hold
way
on,
back
hold
in
on.
I remember this. I have the story in the Marvel Masterworks Fantastic Four when he first appeared.
But you want to see how he looked like in She-Hulk?
Sure. Yes, I gotta see. Oh, okay.
Hello.
He looks like a guy. Talk about a literal. He's a blockhead. He looks like the literal blockheads.
Yeah.
No, but that's him when he actually had sentience and was a good guy.
But I also like the fact that instead of a tag or a sticker, he has the chalkboard wrapped around his neck.
Now, it's later. At first, it was done as a chalkboard, but it was later revealed it's a Wi-Fi board.
Oh.
Doesn't look like a tablet to me.
No, what? It's meant to. Cause that was something that Dan Slaw changed later.
Oh, wait. Mad Thinker? Figure statue.
Yep.
Think.
In an unnatural and ultra scientific sanctuary sheltered from the eyes of man. 5 weeks ago, at exactly 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a fiery object fell from space near the small municipality of Clairton, West Virginia. Preliminary calibrations of the object's weight based on its rate of fall and of the utter lack of mineral debris of extraterrestrial origin found at the resulting impact crater indicate that the object was not a meteorite. Query, what then? Hypothesis, a landing on Earth by a being from another world. Proof, inconclusive. But for days afterward, newspaper in the Clairton area printed sensational stories dismissed by the world at large as a marauding creature of metal. Deduction, if I have interpreted my facts correctly, that an alien creature, an android of unconceivable, incredible power, has arrived on Earth, and the Sinker is the master of androids. I like when all that stuff, like proof inconclusive, like all that type of talk.
I mean, he's the Thinker, so
he's doing detective work / still thinking like a scientist.
Yep, he has no name save that which he has chosen for himself. The Sinker, for sinking is what he does endlessly, incessantly. His thoughts inevitably turn to crime and the acclamation of power, and people say he is mad. I've constructed this model based on descriptions preferred to the press by Clairton's panicked citizenry. Not knowing whether it is an accurate representation of the alien android maddens me. I curse the inexactitude of human observation that he'd love it nowadays.
Your local toy store.
But then he'd love things nowadays with cell phones.
Yeah.
And how human error galls me in contrast to the pristine perfection of my infallible computers. Precisely programmed by my all-encompassing intellect, they plotted the course that the extraterrestrial must have traveled from his world to Earth, a journey at hyperspeed of well over 200 years duration, which proves that the alien is an android, for only a being of artificial life could survive the rigors of such a voyage. With this android under my control, the Sinker could again challenge his enemies with a 100% certainty of victory. Casting his memory back, the Sinker recalls his initial defeat with his creation, the awesome android, fell before the might of the Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, shout out, yeah.
And at a later date, the super android was again defeated by the combined powers of the FF and the original X-Men. Who can forget FF number 28? I built another more powerful, and I built other more powerful androids. But the Fantastic Four leader, Reed Richards, always manages to counter their powers. Still, I was sure victory was in my grasp when with the master stroke of genius, I constructed my androids of death, exact facsimiles of the Fantastic Four themselves. But again, Mr. Fantastic upset my calculations, fighting my androids to a standstill and freeing its captive partners. That was truly the nadir of my power.
I mean, we're the smartest minds in the Marvel Universe, so.
Yep. Although I did not retreat into retirement, over the years, I found my mastery of androids was supplanted by newer forms of artificial life, more powerful than my own creations, some of which were possessed of intelligence that made them independent entities. They existed for good or ill, beyond my control. I must find this extraterrestrial android, control him, through him regain the greatness that is mine by right. For weeks I have labored towards precisely that end. Now all is in readiness. It is precisely 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The alien has not, as far as my information allows me to determine, allowed a week to pass without returning to his point of arrival on Earth. I have had Clairton under observation. 6 days have passed without a visitation. Hypothesis? The alien android must be true to his programming, returning tonight in search of whatever it is that draws him back to such an unexceptional little town. Conclusion? There he will find the sinker awaiting him. A beam of light from the sinker's wristwatch activates a computer. In the moonlight outside of the ground shudders, quakes, and heaves upward. The eruption disgorges a sleek spherical satellite. It is the command capsule of the sinker, and at its mental order, it arcs skyward. Its destination is Clairton, West Virginia. An hour later, and hundreds of miles away, a mighty metal-encased figure soars down to a hillock overlooking the same quiet community. He is unaware that, by returning to the site of his initial arrival on Earth, he is unwittingly following the sinker's insane script. There is only one inhabitant of Earth, it is thought. A woman, Brandy Clark, the first human he encountered on this primitive planet. She whose eyes shine like the stars. She who, he acknowledges to himself, has already won his cyborg heart. Such a love, he reflects, would be madness, even if Brandy was not human and Rom was not an armored, encased grafting of man to machine. For Brandy already loves another, a human, Steve Jackson. Steve has proven his bravery defending Brandy against evil time and again. Would I betray their friendship for the sake of an impossible love? I am a space knight. 200 years ago, I forswore my humanity to wage war upon my enemies, the dreaded Dire Wraith. That war in Okay, we know this stuff. Summary. Lost in bitter reflection, the silver space knight failed to detect the silent spheroid landing in the woods behind him. Inside the command craft, the mad sinker excludes. 9:45 a.m. My predictions were flawless. The aliens come back to the scene of his landing on Earth, believing his quarry to be an emotionless end. The sinker never stops to credit hearts and sickness as a motive for Rom's return to Clairton. It matters not why he periodically revisits this site, merely that my calculations were correct in predicting that he would. 9:50 a.m. The time has come to make contact with the alien. You, my first creation of synthetic life, are known as my awesome android. Yet you have served me ill, never crushing my foes. Awaken from your artificially induced slumber. Test the metal of this incredible, extraterrestrial android so that I may determine whether he is worthy of becoming your successor. Go! The amazing microcircuitry contained within the sinker's deceptively small wristwatch activates the awesome android and also causes the atom of his satellite superstructure to shift. Through the shimmering portal, the sinker's mindless minion strides. His purpose, to do his master's bidding, as he has always done. To test in battle the possibility that another may prove worthier than himself in his master's eyes. To provide, by his own destruction, a more powerful servant for the mad sinker. In the valley below, most of Clairton is at rest, but the Clark family is in the throes of preparation for a most special occasion, the wedding of their daughter, Brandy. Oh, Daddy, do you have to keep staring at me like that? I want to impress this in this moment on my memory, Brandy. After all, in 2 days, you won't be my little girl any longer. You'll belong to Steve Jackson. I'll be married to Steve, Daddy, but I'll belong to me. Your father can be somewhat old-fashioned at times, Brandy, but nothing. I am old-fashioned and proud that my daughter has chosen to act sensibly, unlike most kids these days. That's right, Daddy. I am acting sensibly, and I am doing the right thing. Even if I say it often enough, I'll even convince myself that marrying Steve is right. But I don't want to upset Mom and Dad. Well, sure, it's not like it's any big surprise. Steve and I have been going steady for years, and I'm sure you'll both be very happy together, dear. Underlying the apparent harmony of this domestic scene are other darker thoughts deliberately left unvoiced. The Clarks are all too aware of their daughter's involvement with the alien currently panicking Clairton. In fact, Brandy and her fiance Steve are under suspicion of a number of murders attributed to the killer robot. No one wishes to address that fact just now. Oh, Steve! Hi, Mrs. C. I've come to see the bride. You get out of on the front porch this minute, Mr. Jackson. Don't you know that it's bad luck for the groom to see the bride in her gown before the wedding? But I just shut down my gas station, saw your lights were still on while I was on my way home. Okay. But can I at least say hello to Brandy? I'll keep my eyes closed. I promise. Steve! Brandy, honey. Your eyes, Steve. Huh? All right. They're closed. Come here then and kiss me, my husband-to-be. I thought you were going to call me from work today. Busy day at the garage, but I thought about you in between changing oil filters. Oh, you. Brandy deliberately refrains from asking Steve if he's heard from Rom. It's been nearly a week since their alien friend left Clairton, but neither wish to speak of that now. I love Steve. I do. Besides, we're the only two beings on Earth, besides Rom, who know about the Dire Wraith. We need each other now more than ever. If Brandy Clark needs Steve Jackson to inject some much-needed stability into her incredibly skewed life of late, this Steve Jackson needs her for quite different reasons indeed. Despite her relationship with Rom, the human female is as easily deceived as the rest of her race. And days ago, we race captured and duplicate her boyfriend, the real Steve Jackson. He remains in prison with no chance of escaping to warn his betrothed of the danger to herself and to Rom. With the Dire Wraith wed to Brandy, we can exploit Rom's emotional attachment to the human female and use it to trap and destroy the accursed Spaceknight. Unaware of her peril, Brandy lingers in the sight of her retreating fiancé until... It's getting late, Brandy, and you still have to drive back to your apartment in town. I know, Daddy. I was just thinking about Steve. Of course you were. What could be more natural? Natural? Am I crazy? Or was Steve's kiss cold, almost as if he were a stranger? No, I gotta stop it. Rom's worrying about the Dire Wraith's shape-shifting power that made me paranoid. That's why I need this wedding. To restore some normalcy in my life. Dismissing her forebodings, Brandy prepares to leave. At that very moment, in the outskirts of Clairton, the Silver Spaceknight, who dominates and Brandy's thoughts, is struck without warning. Gah! God of Galador, I have been struck without reason by some creature of colossal proportions. Why? Is this some weapon created by race science? And 10:05 a.m., my awesome android struck the first staggering blow, yet the alien android survived. He is indeed as powerful as my calculations led me to hope. But further testing is necessary before I make the final decision to replace my awesome android with this silver space creature, turning him into the ultimate android, fully under my control. Heeding the Thinker's mental command, the hulking synthetic servant raises a hammer-like hand above the stagger Spaceknight. My attack center says not a word as he alters his very flesh into a weapon for his next assault. Such shape-shifting abilities are second nature to the devious Dire Wraith. Yet I suspect that my awesome adversary is of human creation, if not of human in origin. Vroom! Summoning his energy analyzer from subspace. Rom attempts to divine the nature of his gargantuan opponent. The analyzer can determine whether my attacker is a living organism or a lifeless concept. Gates of the Golden Galaxy. The monstrosity is both living and lifeless. A synthetic imitation of life. An android. An analyzer doesn't reveal, however, whether the creatures of race design, biogenetically bred to serve them, or if he represents some sterling advance in human science. Obviously, the android is but an unthinking servant. The real issue is whether he serves a human or race master. If the latter, then no explanation for his attack on me is necessary. if the former, then I must determine why. Rocket pants roaring, Rom hurls himself on a wave of jet backwash towards the awesome android. He never reaches it. The android transforms itself again, a maw in its hereafter featureless face, spewing forth a hurricane intensity blast of wind. Whoosh! Meanwhile, watching from within its hidden command capsule. 10:17 a.m. My awesome android has stunned the alien. Now he will press the attack, testing the extraterrestrial's resourcefulness. Still, the android withstands the furious frenzy of my servant's assault. 10:20 a.m. Should he survive another 10 minutes, I will have seen enough to know that he is everything for which I have hoped. Unaware that the sole reason for this attack upon him is that he must pass muster in the mad thinker's eye, Rom attempts to hold off the awesome android without harming the creature. Unfortunately, the mindless menial was ordered to press Rom's survival capabilities to the furthest extent. The android brings incredible pressure to bear upon my armor circuits. My armor circuit. Sorry, it's hard to see the period and all that.
Yeah.
Circuit is functioning. I must either break its grasp or die. Meanwhile, in the capital city office of a muckraking magazine, the Washington Weekly, you kept me alive in the office all evening. Look at this, a photo of some Star Wars groupie in a C-3PO costume. I know. Ace O'Connor swallows hard and faces her editor down. She knows she has stumbled on the story of the century, and she's prepared to defend it, even at the cost of her job. These shots are the real thing. I took them myself. Who's the guy in the sardine suit? He called himself Rom, and everybody spoke of him as if he really were from another planet. Here you see Rom under attack inside a top security scientific facility known as Project Safeguard by some new superhero called the Jack of Hearts. If this place was so hush-hush, how'd you get in? During the fight, no one was paying attention to me. And what's this shot of? This is the clincher, Barry. Rom aimed some kind of weapon at the project chief scientist, Dr. Rachel Sweet. It looked to everyone as if she were vaporized instantly. My photo shows otherwise. Sweet seems to be changing to some sort of alien. Right. This Rom kept saying that there were evil aliens living here on Earth, disguised human beings. Don't you see, Barry? The camera must have caught what Rom's eye and human eyes couldn't see. Rom was protecting us from these Dire Wraith. Why, yes, that's what he called them. But Barry, how did you? Barry, you're changing. You're becoming like that thing in the photograph. You have indeed stumbled upon the scoop of the century, human. A pity you will never be published. You're one of them. A Dire Wraith. I heard Rom say you were everywhere, infiltrating every aspect of our lives. The government, the media, everything. But Rom's onto you. He's come to Earth to stop you. A portal's opening in the wall behind me. What are these creatures? No!
Well, bye-bye.
Rom was correct, human. We have indeed maneuvered ourselves into positions of power on your planet, awaiting the day we shall take over. On that day, Earth shall become a springboard for the second race invasion of the Golden Galaxy, and you helpless humans will serve as soldiers, slaves in our vast race army. Until that time, we would be foolish to allow any hint of our presence on Earth to be made public. As Ace O'Connor's photographs flicker and burst into flames, the Dire Wraith laughs an evil laugh. His pleasure, however, is cut short by the arrival of one of Washington Weekly's stringers. Hey, Chief, you see Ace? She left these negatives in the darkroom. Really weird stuff. Aliens, superheroes? I'd like to go to Clairton and follow up on it for our UFO piece if she's too busy. Oh, no. Why didn't he just send him away?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's like, hang on. Let me see that for a sec.
Meanwhile, the Galadorian gladiator who stands the best chance of upsetting race kind's well-laid plan fights for his cyborg life. I activated rocket pads, hoping to blast myself free of the android's grip, but the android has countered my move by transforming his atomic structure to duplicate their fiery power. I might already be dead, but for my armor, which has taken me through blazing suns, cutting off its rocket pods, Rom attempts another tactic. Again, the android neutralizes my attack, this time by taking on the composition of my own space armor. Still, I am Rom of the Space Knight, and while my mission remains unfulfilled, I must survive. And 10:30 a.m., my awesome android has struck at the alien with every iota of its power, to no avail. Conclusion, as I had calculated, the alien must be an android himself, possessed of incredible strength. I will reason with him, appeal to the logic of a perfectly crafted artificial organism, tell him that he must join his power to my genius, but he will serve me regardless of his answer, willingly or not. Driven to the defense by the awesome android's assault, Rom finally resorts to summoning from subspace his neutralizer. Forged on Galador, the neutralizer was designed to banish Dire Wraith to the shadowy realm of Limbo. Turned on other life forms, his effects are devastatingly destructive. The creature is definitely not of Wraith's creation, or it would have been transported to Limbo by my neutralizer beam. It is of human origin then, and I have heard it. Yet, what choice had I? Even now it rises to renew its attack. If the battle is rejoined, one of us must surely perish. There's no further need for battle. I overpower my mindless minion. You've proven yourself to be the ultimate android. Human. Yes, you must be an inhabitant of Earth, though I will train my energy analyzer upon you to simply make sure. Your ray cannot penetrate my personal force field, alien. It does not need to in order to reveal you for what you are. Human, hear me, android. You are an alien from another world, another galaxy. You can only have come here to Earth to demonstrate the might of your master. And yet, why not add your might to the magnitude of my mind and throw off their programming? Join me in conquest of both your world and mine. You engineered this sense of struggle just so you could ask me that? You are mad, human, and worse, you are callous and cruel to have let your creation come to harm in order to furnish you with misinformation. You lie! The seeker is never mistaken! Yet you think that I am an android, a being of artificial life. You must be an android, and the control mechanism in my wristwatch subjugating your circuitry shall prove it. No, and is it possible? My control beam has no effect on you. Explanation. You are no synthetic construct of artificial life, but an independent entity encased in indestructible armor. I have miscalculated. And I have made a human error because I wanted you to be an android. That's what I believed you were, but you are not. You are merely another enemy added to my lengthy list of foes, and as such, you must be destroyed. Rise, my awesome android. Serve your master as you have served me countless times before. Your creation has experienced pain unlike any it has ever known. Though caused by my neutralizer, it recognizes that the true blame lies with you. No! Keep back, you mindless mockery of life! I'm the Sinker! I created you to serve me! You are incapable of reasoning, incapable of blaming me for your pain, incapable of defying me! Do you hear? You cannot do this! Once again, it appears the mad Sinker
Nice
has
maze on petard.
Once again, it appears the mad Sinker has miscalculated. The
Wah,
servant
wah.
has torn its master away. I, who know so little of human nature, am astonished that the Sinker knows so much less. Its android is like a child, trusting in its parent not to let it come to harm. When the Sinker betrayed that trust, the android turned upon its parent. Perhaps later, when they are safe, the Sinker will attempt to reforge his relationship with his creation. Unable or unwilling to associate with his fellow man, the Sinker will come in time to realize that without the companionship of his awesome android, he is a lonely life indeed. More with the saga of the Space Knights.
Yes.
Driven from the Golden Galaxy, the remnant of the Dire Wraith warfleet have regrouped in the Barbarian satellite cluster. It is here that Rom and his Space Knight squadron find them. On your guard, Space Knight. The Wraith strike from the dark side of the planet. Based in part on a story suggestion by Stephen Grant, communication links in their armor enables them to speak in the airless vacuum of space. The Galadorian gladiators follow in Rom's lead. You strike from the shadows, scourge of space, but shadows will not shield you from the searing light eyes of starshine. You're blinded. You're blinded. The race shifts, pilot. Try to get a good voice for him.
Oh, I thought you were misreading it again.
No. You're blinded. The race shifts, pilot. Starshine causes them to veer out of control into the asteroid belt. Though effective, your methods are too merciful for these shape-changing scum. I prefer to hurl myself upon the foe in one swift, savage onslaught. Yeah! I revel in their screaming as my black light eye beams dispatch them screaming to limbo or to hell. Thus does Terminator deal with these. I always want to do the Arnold voice, but I couldn't do it.
Thus does Terminator deal with these people.
I could have done too much like my Rom voice, so.
No, your Rom voice is much more Conehead.
Okay, enough with the Conehead.
Again, sorry, but you make him sound way too monotone.
That's what I'm trying to go for.
Fine. I just know there's a human underneath that armor.
I know, but he's supposed to still have his emotions cut off. That's what makes it more interesting to play it off as.
Yes, yeah, but if I would do it, it would be more stoic.
But still, anyway, thus does Terminator deal with these demons of the Dark Nebula, who dared to bring their warlike waves to the Golden Galaxy. These race war fleet is destroyed. But we have reports of extensive race activity in the Debari sector. As soon as we have attended to our own dead, we must... Rom, a distress call has been received from Agricon. The race are there. Agricon, my beloved Reyna resides there. Terminator, Starshine, to my side. We must hurry. It is clear that this skirmish was but a ploy to draw us away from Agricon. Gods of Galador, grant that we may arrive in time. Warping through hyperspace, the Space Knight Squadron soon appears in the vermilion sky over Agricon. Agricon is a simple farm world. There is no sign of race activity here. All seems normal, Starshine. And greetings, Space Knight. Agricon welcomes you. Have you come to rest from the war? No, old one. We come in search of the war. A distress call relayed to us said the enemy had attacked Agricon. The Dire Wraith here? Impossible! Look, Kriya, look at the Golden Lady. Something is wrong. Golden Lady, you mean my armor. I sometimes forget how my cyborg armor appears to others, for I still retain such a strong memory of my human self. Starshine, stand away from those fiends. Terminator, the children, no! It is over before anyone can raise a hand to stop him. Black beam stabbing from its grim-visaged faceplate. Terminator reduces the screaming children into twin heaps of smoldering ash. You're insane. More of a menace than murdering race kind. Those children, like all who live, were under our protection. Those children would have destroyed you had you tarried with them a second longer. And Rom and Agricon's already lost. Train your energy analyzer on these simple farmers. And summoning forth his all-revealing energy analyzer from subspace. Rom strips away the human disguises adopted by the false Agricons. Race! The Space Knight has discovered us! Before we could spring, our trap could be sprung! Flee! Flee! Ah! Scum! You race to your own destruction. And though race is more deserving of death than the Dire Wraith Terminator, I still cannot bring myself to kill. Besides, there is a fate they fear far worse than death. Banishment to the shadow realm called Limbo. There they can live out the rest of their lives, aware of life on other worlds, yet unable to wreak their evil upon it. The race guard banished or destroyed. The Titanic trio fire their rocket pods and streak across the sky to the capital city of Agricon. Rom, if the race have overrun Agricon, then your beloved... Silence, Starshine. Rom must think only of the coming battle. Rom knows that Terminator speaks the truth, yet how can he concentrate on the conflict when his every emotion screams to know the fate of woman he loves? The woman he loves!
What's with the typos? Who did the lettering?
What the heck? The fate of woman he loves? I'm sorry, that's
the fate of woman.
Again,
woman and man. Robot man need love.
This is the third typo.
No, we got more, dude. We got more.
Be Ron.
Sure.
Stop Dire Wraiths. Make good fight.
Yeah, exactly.
You said to me, Ed, we good.
Take me with you.
Right, where Rom, my beloved, Agrican is lost. The Wraith hold me hostage so that they may destroy you. Do not hesitate for my sake. Eradicate the evil ones now. Right, I cannot. My neutralizer would banish the Wraith, but you could not possibly survive its rays. You have proven yourself the greatest of the Space Knights, Rom, but your sentimental emotionalism has doomed you. We race know nothing of love. That is why our hatred shall triumph in the end. Rom, the Space Knights need you. Galador needs you. Do not sacrifice to save me, beloved. Yeah! The female breaks free. Stop her. Right, Rom, no, you race towards the foe without your neutralizer. Fear not, fair Starshine. Rom will find the path to his beloved cleared before him. As Rom kneels by Reyna, Starshine and Terminator mercilessly destroys the Wraith. Sorry, I got wrong voice. I got my voices mixed up.
I was confused for he's narrating to himself.
As Rom kneels by Reyna, Starshine and Terminator mercilessly destroy the Wraith. Lie still, beloved. Help will be summoned. There's no one who can aid me now, and my dearest Rom. I know that I am dying, but I do not fear death as much as I fear what your life will become now that you face the future without me. The war interrupted our love, Rom, made you a space knight, but the war is not wrong. Fight on, beloved, and perhaps when you have won, we may meet again. Our love will never die.
Oof.
I think this was suggested by Stephen Grant, making the point of, what? If she's still alive out there, why would Rom be now interested in Brandy?
Well, now we have our answer.
Yeah, because I don't know how long the how long does Rom's race live for? Did they say?
We don't know.
They don't know. I mean, he's been.
I'll tell you this. He eventually
does. He has been fighting this war for 200 years.
Yeah, that's it. What they eventually make their way back to Galador, and the Prime Chancellor is still there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if they live longer than humans or.
Clearly they do. Clearly,
yeah.
But it's also the case of, but yeah, Rom, no, don't kill the man I love.
Another superhero wedding. They always get it. Darn it, they always get interrupted before the bachelor party's over.
It was a nice cover by Bob Layton.
Nice.
Yeah.
On Brandy Clark and Steve Jackson cordially invite you to a wedding.
Can we step right to the reception? I want free eats and booze.
Yeah.
Don't they make a handsome couple? Brandy, darling. She's ready, Steve. Aren't you, dear? Yes, mother. But am I ready? Or have I agreed to marry Steve now simply to make myself forget about Rom? Brandy's paleness is attributed to the chilling October day by her fellow Clairton citizens. Nervous? No, Daddy. You look lovelier than ever, Brandy. But why do you seem so cold, so calculating, so cruel, Steve? It's my imagination. It must be. Okay, well, everybody, I guess we're ready to tie the knot. Yeah, look at that face. She's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, something screwy here.
Brandy, you don't look well. I am all right, Mother. Of course she is. Then why do I feel like a calf on its way to the slaughter? Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve, old buddy, you finally hooked her. Let's give the old Clairton High School a cheer. Cheer? I don't think I remember. Who'd want to on his wedding day? Surrounded by well-wishers, the wedding party enters the Clairton church. Not far away, the Clark household is about to receive an extraterrestrial visitation from Rom, greatest of the Space Knights. When my cyborg eyes glanced out from the woods, things seemed so different. I had only just arrived on Earth. It seemed so alive after my 200 years pursuit of the evil Dire Wraith, through the cold of outer space. Brandy Clark was the okay summary and all that.
Yep, as usual.
But unlike her fellow humans, as I would soon discover, she was open, trusting, and kind to a stranger from the stars. From the first, she aroused emotion within my warrior's heart. Emotions I should ignore. Not knowing where else to look for Brandy, Rom enters her parents' home. There is no one here. Damn, is he tall when you compare it?
Oh my God!
I mean, look at him here with the door frame.
I'm surprised his head doesn't touch.
Yeah, he's just bunk. Ouch.
yeah,
but-
like all the basketball guys in Space Jam. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ouch! 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 Ouch!
Perhaps it is just as well. The Elder Clarks have never tried to understand Rom or his
That's
mission.
the narrator. Isn't that the narrator voice?
Oh, what?
Well, Rom's performing double duty.
Okay, perhaps it is just. Thank you for catching me, dude. I don't want to keep doing this.
Yeah, what the heck? It's pink, dude. Remember the.
I know. Perhaps it is just as well. The Elder Clarks have never tried to understand Rom or his mission the way their daughter has. To them, and to most Earthlings, he is a monster, a marauding robot, a killer. Only Brandy, her boyfriend Steve, and small-time criminal Archie Stryker know better. Now, Archie Stryker's... Wait, you forgot the cop!
Oh, wow.
Yep. This volume, it seems to contain visual remembrance. Aww. Clearly, this is a chronicle of Brandy's life up to the present. There, another image, separate from and larger than the rest. Steve Jackson. At first, he hated and feared me like all the rest of his kind. Though I tried to tell him I was Earth's ally, he would not listen. No, he had to see the insidious villainy of the Dire Wraith for himself. That's when I saved him and Brandy from that poor, pitiful tool of the race, Firefall. And just as I saved Steve and Brandy's lives time and again, I cannot forget the debt I owed him for retrieving me. Okay, submarines again. This is really a catch-up issue.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
Yet I am grateful to Steve Jackson. Grateful, and though I envy his humanness, I am a man trapped in a suit of living armor. He is a man in all things. Thus, he stands in the way of my desires. I must find Brandy. Where to her? And talk to her. But where? Gosh, the killer robot! Rom's ill-deserved infamy has spread to even the young of Clairton. It is the old, however, who takes it upon themselves to perform irrational heroics. The metal marauders come out of hiding! I'll run him down before he endangers that little girl.
Looks like you're gonna run into that little girl.
I know. Vehicle has veered towards the child. They may both be killed.
I thought the people here in Connecticut should be the old people should be stripped of their licenses.
I could prevent it. Rom stands and by to watch tragedy take its course. Whoops.
Next.
Next.
There we go. Next.
Meanwhile, in the station's capital, here's the next batch you asked for, Mr. Lane. But what you want, and with the birth registries in West Virginia stretching back to the 1940s, I can't imagine. I'm sorry if my request is causing you difficulty, friend, but as Clairton County's coroner, I've got to be pretty exact about when a person was born and died when I fill out his death certificate. I never could tolerate sloppiness, you know? And when an error pops up, and why, I just naturally have to check it out. Well, let me know if you need anything else. I was like, I know I'm making a nuisance of myself, but dad blast it, and people have been dying in Clairton. Their bodies reduced to ash by that creature called Rom. And when I checked out in the records, I found out that at least 6 of them have been born on the same day, which is strange because Bill Taylor, for example, looked at least 20 years older than Lem and Watson. I haven't found any more cards with that birth date, and it looks to me like over a dozen more of them have been tampered with. Recently, who's been monkeying with the records, and why? I told a Washington reporter, Miss Ace O'Connor, about this, and she seemed interested. Maybe I should look her up. Silius Lane's idea is a good one, but the reporter in question may not be writing any more stories in the near future, or ever. Now, little continuity hiccup, she didn't have her camera with her!
Oh, whoops.
Where am I? How did I get here? Who are you? I'm glad you're awakened. This is some kind of sensory deprivation tank dreamed up by the Dire Wraith. They can see in through the white wall, but we can't see out. My name's Steve Jackson. Had a nice auto repair shop in Clairton, West Virginia, until I made friends with the Spaceknight named Rom. The Wraith didn't like that. So they kidnapped me, duplicated me, and now I understand that my double is going to marry my girlfriend. Cute, huh? You showed up. I don't know. Time's weird in here. maybe a day ago. What'd you do to get on the Wraith's bedside? I'm Ace O'Connor, a reporter for the Washington Weekly News. I was there when Rom invaded a top security agency called Project Safeguard. Okay, summary again.
More summary. Summary time. Summary time.
The Hellhounds. Yeah, they used to be real dogs till the Wraiths got their hands on them. Hey, what? The wall, it's glowing. Steve Jackson, we have come for you. They look like the Soggies, I just realized.
Yeah.
Don't they?
My Captain Crunch cereal with the new Rom toys inside are a great part of this balanced breakfast.
If you plan to torture me and turn me against Rom, forget it, Wraith. There's no way I'd betray my big silver buddy. Oh, fool, we held you hostage until your Wraith double could marry the woman you love. With the wedding underway, the real Steve Jackson is no longer necessary to our plan. Steve, they mean to kill you. Run!
I gathered that.
The photo flash fills the cell with a sudden burst of intense color. That's why she needed the camera, blinding the unprepared Wraith.
They needed to break that continuity, man.
Yep. You idiot, I told you to run and leave a lady in the lurch. Not this kid. The Clairton High School cheer has a line in about character and chivalry. Kearney, huh? Hey, tentacles reaching out for us. And now it became hentai.
Woo!
Please.
Oh my.
I'm kidding. It's the Wraith. And those blasted shapeshifters can become anything they want. Take that, you slimy squid. Steve, they got me. There's no way I can break free. If you try to help me, they'll have you too. And then there'll be nobody to save your girlfriend. Brandy, you're right. I gotta go. I won't forget you, lady. Never. Eluding the Wraith, Steve dives through a portal shimmer in the wall. Their youth will not get far, human. Or maybe he'll get away and shout the news of your lousy presence loud enough so that Earth wakes up and hears it. A pity you will not live to see that day. And Ace! They killed her. Wow! When they have a character die, they really make it work.
Yeah.
We've been following for a couple of issues now. Right?
Should have had some Captain Crunch.
They killed her. Those stinking space scum. She sacrificed herself for me. Racing blindly down corridors lined with malevolent race machinery. Steve Jackson flees for his life. Astonishingly, his escape is unhindered. I'm out. But where? Clairton. The Wraith's secret base must be the old mines crisscrossing under the town. No wonder Rom first started looking for them here. But the only Wraiths I saw were the two in the cell. Where are the rest of them? What are they up to? I've got to find Brandy and warn her. Terrified, Steve races towards Clairton, where at that moment, Rom reaches a decision. Shouldn't the girl be run over by now?
Time stands still so slowly.
I guess he can process things really fast. I have come to Earth
the speedathon and the speed of light are very instant. Remember that.
Yep. I have come to save the Earth to save humankind, not to see it perish. Fear not, child. No harm shall come to you.
Great. Now I got to restart Paperboy on the same route again.
There. Do not be afraid, but return to your home and tell others what have you seen and what you have seen. Yes, sir. You filthy murderer! Get your hands off that child! Can't you see she's terrified of you? Maybe I couldn't stop you by running you down with my car, but somehow Earth will find a way to destroy you. If I were the merciless murderer you humans say I am, you would be dead now. But as I am not, I will merely ask you a question. I seek Brandy Clark. Where can she be found? The Clarks? They're at the church. Their daughter's getting married. No. At the moment in the Clairton church. It's too bad Artie isn't here, Steve. He really should have been your best man. Yeah, shall we begin? Daddy, stay behind me and beside me all the way to the altar, Brandy. Oh, yeah, Artie Becker was killed by the Sornoids in Rom 7. No, technically not! But it's a summary.
Yeah.
Column steps. Brandy's misgivings increase. I agreed to marry Steve because I was scared. Rom's arrival, his war against the Dire Wraith, had upset my life. I no longer knew what was real or right. I needed someone to lean on to make me feel secure. But something's wrong here. I feel like something terrible is going to happen. Ready, honey?
Oh, how right you are, lady.
I know. Ready, honey? Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today As the sacred ceremony gets underway, panic seizes those Clairton citizens on the street outside the church. It's him, the monster. He's here. Call me what you will.
Dixie, beautiful.
Call me what you will, Earthlings. I am weary of the endless explaining of my mission.
Have I done that in now?
I've explained it by now. Get out of here.
When there is only one among you who truly understands.
Now, just imagining like the scene from the Graduate where he's going, Brandy.
Oh, yeah.
At the other end of town, Steve Jackson at last reaches his filling station. I made it. The Wraiths are so confident that I can't mess up their plans, and that they didn't care I got away, or something's made them careless, locked, and I don't even have time to go home for my keys. The good thing I never wired the shop with burglar alarms. I'd hate to have to explain busting in my own place to some nosy cop, especially when every minute counts. Having armed himself, Steve seeks transportation. I had this jalopy fueled and ready to go before the race got me. Wheels don't fail me now. Unaware that the man their daughter is marrying is not a man at all. Brandy's parents look on proudly. It's a shame so few people accepted our invitation. What do you expect with this alien scare driving more families away from Clairton every day? And our daughter's connection with that metal murderer hasn't won us any friends. To join this man and this woman in this holy bonds of matrimony, for as much as these two persons have come hither to be made one in this holy estate, if there be any here present who know any just cause why they may not be lawfully joined in marriage, I require him to speak now or to forever hold his peace.
Brandy.
And who holds the rings? The rings? Oh gosh! Stop fumbling, Hawkins. Hand it over. Can Steve be nervous as I am about the marriage? Is that why he's acting so strange? Steve Jackson, do you take Brandy Clark to be your lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold until death do you part? I do. Brandy Clark, do you take Steve Jackson to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold until death do you part? I do. Then I now pronounce you man and Brandy. Do not do that thing. Rom, it's that murdering alien come to kill us all. For the love of heaven, Johnson, do something. Do not try to stop me, humans. I must talk to Brandy. Hit him, man. Oh, no, you don't. You never listen. You never listen. Only I stand between you and the darkness that threatens to engulf your world. Only Brandy understands. Only Brandy believes. Only Brandy and Steve. Oh, Steve, isn't it wonderful? Rom's returned, alive, unharmed. Swell. Steve, why are you pulling me? Rom needs us. You still defend this chrome killer even when he's destroying your wedding? I call him in peace. Peace? You call peace when you terrorize innocent people? When you reduce men to ashes before the eyes of their loved ones? When you've driven an entire community from its homes?
This is Rom at this point when they're saying that. He's just like, blah, blah, blah.
I know. I have said it before, and I shall say it again. I have slain no one, and those I have banished were not men, but evil aliens conspiring to prey upon mankind. Your blind prejudice and hatred stop me when I seek only to help. You will hinder me no longer. You're going to kill me! No. Being as human as you, though I am great and grafted into the space knight armor, I am sometimes prone to acting out of anger or frustration or love. Forgive me. I meant to cause you neither harm nor anguish. You're not going to attack me? What kind of monster are you? Don't you see, Daddy? Rom's not the monster everyone says he is. Brandy, don't. He's a friend, and he's come to rid the Earth of our real aliens, No! Steve, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way? You're letting that blasted metal monstrosity destroy our wedding? Steve, stop it! Rom's come because he cares about us, about me. Can't you see that Rom's out of his mind, Brandy? If you trust him, he'll hurt you. What are you saying? You know that Rom would never hurt me. Nor would the real Steve Jackson make such a claim. Gods of Galador. Now I know why the Wraith stink is so strong in this sacred place. With no words of explanation, Rom summons his energy analyzer into his hand. It is the wrong action to take when attempting to placate the already panicked assembly. The creature's brought out his death way. He's going to kill Steve. But it's the only action the Silver Space Knight can take to prove the truth to himself. The energy analyzer reveals to my cyborg vision what mere human eyes cannot perceive. That evil knows no respect for hallowed halls or holy vows. You are not Steve Jackson. Of course I am. And it's you who's this deceiver. You who tried to talk Brandy into seeing evil where none exists. No, Rom, Steve, stop it. You're supposed to be friends, yet you're acting like deadly enemies. Why? Is it because you both love me? You do love me, Rom. I've known it from the moment we met. It's one of the reasons I believed in you and your mission. Your ability to love made you human. I was human, Brandy Clark. It is this shapeshifter who is not. He's mad, crazy with jealousy. Rom, please, I understand your feelings for me, but Steve is the man I'm going to marry. This is something out of a nightmare. The space robot said he's in love with our daughter, that Steve isn't Steve, and he's going to kill him to prove it. Struggling with Rom, Brandy begins to entertain doubts she'd long since dismissed. Can I have been wrong about Rom from the start? Can he really be the...
I know, come on.
Well, he's about to kill her fiance, so...
Wait. Can he really be the murderer everyone says he is? And the Dire Wraith's only a menace in his deranged mind? By humoring an alien? Have I endangered the man I love? Go ahead, Rom. Kill me or bash me to limbo. Either way, all you'll be left with is a pile of ash, which the humans will believe to be the mortal remains of Steve Jackson. They'll hate you, hunt you, and never trust you again. Ah!
Whoa.
Rom, what have you done? Not Rom's doing. Somehow he's escaped, and I am dying. All my plans, all my deceptions were for nothing. Rom has won. That's right, Space Scum. And everyone who saw my diabolical duplicate, yep, and me face to face
nice save, Steve.
Will believe Rom. For the first time, ordinary, everyday Earthlings will know that he's telling the truth about the Dire Wraith. With a sinister hiss, the dying race crumbles into ash on the church floor, and the Clairton and congregation experience a sudden collective realization. A hidden danger does indeed dwell upon the earth, but in the solemn Silver Space Knight, this planet has both a savior and a friend. Later. So you see, after 2 centuries of stalking the Wraith through outer space, Rom's quest led him here to a Wraith base in the mines beneath Clairton. Then all those he have killed, Rom killed no one, Jonathan. He banished people who were never really people at all. I know it's hard to grasp, folk, that our friends and neighbors might be aliens intent on conquering Earth, but every word of it's true. And if it weren't for my big buddy Rom here, Clairton might have already been taken over. And having seen what you've seen, Rom, we trust you. Now you must know that you can trust us. Turn your energy analyzer upon us all, that you may be certain no race dwells disguised among us. For a second, Rom's cyborg vision scans the faces of the assembled humans. With his energy analyzer, he could be sure about that. But no race would willingly subjugate himself to the analyzer's rays, old one. Thus, I take you at your word. There are times when even a space knight must have faith. As their fellow humans gather around Rom and ply him with countless questions, Brandy Clark and Steve Jackson find themselves alone together at last. Steve, we've got to talk. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. It was like a premonition of evil closing in on me. Rom wasn't here. I couldn't talk about it to my parents. You were the only one I could turn to. Only I wasn't me. The race counted on you marrying my double, so they could somehow strike at Rom through you. I accepted this ring from the man I thought was you, Steve. And you can put it on my finger yourself now if you like. I would like, honey, with all my heart. But not now. Maybe someday when we're both sure we're doing the right thing. Steve Jackson, I love you. Yeah, I know. And that was a major shakeup.
Yes,
Woo-hoo,
thank
sure
you.
was.
Finally,
Great.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. Now things are starting to go in the right direction for Rom.
For the time being, at least.
Yeah.
But the Dire Wraiths, they'll come back. But the Dire Wraiths die easily, but they'll be back and in bigger numbers.
Yeah, I'm sure they have plenty of other plans.
The Watch Wraith on a chill November.
Who's watching the Watch Wraith?
The
Oh, it's
reporter,
Thanksgiving. Nom.
the reporter came to town. Clairton, West Virginia, eh? I wouldn't expect to find a scoop of the century in a backwater burg like this, but he is Mac Kilburn, a stringer for the Washington Weekly News. It's cold. Should have dressed warmer. After this story is printed, I'll be able to afford it. This the wind
Hey,
sweep.
you know what? He looks like Rob Reiner and All in the Family.
Wind
Hey, his
sweep
voice is
over
now
Yeah.
going to be in my head if I ever read this. Although Archie will have to stay in the back of my mind from calling him Meathead.
Yep. The wind sweeps over the sidewalk. Local newspaper. Seems like a good place to start. The opening door strikes tiny peals off on ancient bell. Ding, ding, ding. The name's Kilburn. You the editor? Nope. Nope. I'm the assistant editor. Can I help you? Maybe. Recognize this photo? That is. What's the stall, Junior? You recognize the metal mug in that photo? Or you don't? I think you do. In fact, I know you do. Because up until a month ago, your paper was full of stories about a murdering alien, your copywriter named Rom. All right, of course. We're a quiet little town down here, Mr. Kilburn. Well, every so often, to liven things up, my dad, he's the editor of the Clarion, you see. He just makes up news like this Rom business. All hogwash, UFO stuff, a joke. Oh, the reporter looks hard at the bespectacled youth. Then, sensing that he will get no further with Clarion's assistant editor, he takes his leave. And kid says old man's away on a fishing trip. No way to check his story, except that somebody else saw this fantasy robot. Ace O'Connor, the lady reporter who took the photo, I flashed at him. As Kilburn moves down Main Street, a real door opens in the Clarion editorial. That Jensen gone, son? Yes, Dad, but I'm afraid I didn't lie very well. And he had photographs of Rom. Better call the others. And throughout the long November day, the reporter stalks the streets of suburban Clairton. He is matched everywhere he goes with patience, pleasantry, and apparent puzzlement. I don't put too much stock in newspaper stories, friend. Sorry, mister. The only flying saucer I ever saw was an ice cream sandwich. You can't be serious, young man. What nonsense. They're all covering for him now.
Yeah.
What nonsense. A mad robot killing my neighbors? I would have heard. Some of them are lying, I can tell. But why are they covering up this story? And finally, the reporter comes to the door of the Clark residence. Mr. Clark, I'm looking for your daughter, Brandy. A month ago, the Clarion reported on her connection with the alien Rom. I beg your pardon. This must be some mistake. Who is it, Daddy? Another newspaper man? I'm afraid so, Brandy. I do wish you hadn't participated in Jem Marcus's ridiculous fabrication. Newspapers are supposed to report the news. But there's so little news in Clairton, Daddy. Jem just felt he had to invent some. Who knows? Who's what he'll dream up to boost circulation next Halloween. All right, have your laugh. I came to this town to check on a story that there was a killer robot loose on Earth. And a reporter I know took photographs to prove it. Until a month ago, your local paper shouted the same story. Day after day, of people killed turned to ash by this Rom. A joke. I don't believe it. And I'm going to hang around this one-horse town until I discover the truth. Or at least enough of the truth to get my own byline. This was Ace's story. Until she disappeared, my editor told me to forget it. So I quit. I've got to make good or I'm all washed up.
Ilya, lucky for him, it is a one-horse town.
Cold and chagrined, the reporter dries off, seeking a cup of hot coffee to drink as he plans his next move. However, if he had been enterprising enough to have caught a glimpse of the interior of the Clark family's living room, he would have found himself possessed of a story so sensational as to make him the journalist of his age. And has the gentleman departed, Jonathan? Yes, Reverend, but I'm afraid he'll be back. Don't worry, Daddy. Everyone in Clairton either knows the truth about Rom or has been convinced by his or her neighbor that the whole alien robot scare was all man and all Jem Marcus' idea of a joke. And that truth, Brandy, darling, is that Rom... Okay, Norse!
What?
The whole just reiterates stuff.
Yep.
I mean, some of it's clever. Some of it's clever.
All comic is everybody's first, yada, yada, yada. But,
Yeah.
the outer space.
Yep.
I do
Oh,
like
look at
Rom
that.
just
Look at these
sitting. I
weird
do
aliens.
love Rom sitting in the chair though. It's like he's part of the family now. Can
But
you
he's
pass
still
a light
huge.
bulb? Can you pass a light bulb,
Wait,
please?
Oh, look
Wait,
at
I'm
these
picturing-
aliens.
Why do I picture Rob going, won't you please be my neighbor?
Look at these aliens.
Yeah, what?
Meet George Jetson with the weirdo hair.
No, big
Yeah.
heads.
Big
Yeah.
heads. Oh my God, it's the Thinker. Where's the Hulk? No,
We just did Thinker, dude.
not the Thinker, the Leader.
The leader.
Oh, the leader, yeah. Right.
A regular filth column, huh? I remember when the Nazis tried to trick during World War II. It's terrible. The race can make themselves into anyone they choose.
Wait a second. This looks like an original story. Scroll back up.
No. It's just him summarizing everything again.
But I don't remember those aliens.
No. This was just an example of the shape shifting. That's all.
Yeah, they're just changing into those
the
aliens.
race, though defeated, were not destroyed. Soon rumors reached out of race takeovers in other, more primitive sectors of space. By changing their shape, the race could infiltrate unsuspecting worlds and then conquer from within. That's all.
Okay.
However, we know the danger is great. Remember that only recently, Brandy almost married a race who posed as her beloved Steve. Yet, even before the real Steve Jackson returned, Brandy sensed something evil about his duplicate. And where feelings fail, there is always my energy analyzer. Oh my, I remember how we thought your detection device could be a death ray when you first came to Earth. Now, thanks to Brady Steve, we don't fear it. Or you. The art says otherwise!
Yeah, they're like, oh my. We're totally not panicked at all right now.
But they do suggest them to scan it again, to scan themselves. And they do, and everyone's fine. Well, nobody looked any different than me, but I'm sure Rom's cyborg vision could have revealed any disguised race hiding among us. Since we Earthlings have got to have a way to detect those space scum ourselves, Brandy. Steve, I wonder what you and the technicians from the lab I work at were tinkering on in the basement. It's the toy version of the energy analyzer.
Oh my God.
Wonder no more, honey. It's a homemade energy analyzer that we whipped up out of some old X-ray equipment. Ron described how his worked, so we just tried to duplicate it, making modifications, of course, that should enable it to reveal those rotten race to us. I hope you need never test your device against the enemy, Steve. For a race detective, it's scarcely a race defeated. Steve knows that, Rom, but we had to do something. You're armed against the race, but with no way to even detect them, we felt so defenseless. Endangered, perhaps, Brandy Clark, but not defenseless. As I said, knowledge must be your armor. May it serve you well, children of Earth, for my time has come to depart. What? Oh, Rom, no, you can't mean it. That throb in her voice when she speaks to him. Brandy's my girl. Hey, what am I? Jealous of a guy who isn't even really even human and who saved my hide more times than I can count? What do you mean leaving, Rom? Back to Galador? No, race activity in Clairton, following their failure to wed one of their number to Brandy, and thus set a trap for me, seems to have ceased. Though I have not had time to conduct a careful search, it appears race kind has fled Clairton. Thus my quest must take me to other places where the Dark Ones now practice their evil. Then you're not sure there are no race hiding here, Rom? Why not wait among friends until you're ready? She asked me to stay. Can she love me as I? No, I am no longer human. I have not the right. Very well, Brandy. I will stay until I am sure. Anyway, meanwhile, in the woods extending for miles around the calm community of Clairton. Zow! Got him, Mark! I got the sneaky alien! Hey, Billy! Why don't we play Space Invader in the old mines? Uh-oh!
Oh, boy.
It sure is spooky. Yeah, remember how creepy Clairton used to dare us to come in here after him? I never did like him. I was glad when his mom said he and his funny family moved away. I still don't get the newspapers and first said they died. Wow, look at this stuff. What is it?
Now our Space Invader game's gonna be epic.
I know. Billy, I think we better get out of here. You know something, Luke? I think you're right.
Nah.
Plastic weapons. The children turn to flee. tripping as they do a secret alarm. There is a harsh rasping of metal bat wings, and I think I know why, and why Clairton wanted us to come down into the mines with him, and Luke. Yeah, he wanted us to find that thing. Run before it catches us and makes us as creepy as Clairton. We gotta tell our folks. But it is many miles back to Clairton, and the thing from the mines may reach the children before they get there. Elsewhere in the Clark's guest room, he barely fits the bed.
It's like Andre the Giant when he's trying to lie in a bed. It's like you're 7 foot tall,
Yeah.
you can't.
Those humans who've learned about the Dire Wraith at Brandy's aborted wedding have all gone now to convince their friends and neighbors that I never existed. But there are other humans throughout this country who know of me. Why is the news not widespread? Perhaps the Wraiths have infiltrated all of Earth's major news media. It would be a simple matter to suppress such a fantastic story. I can hear Brandy's voice through the wall. Almost unintentionally, Rom eavesdrops on his human friend. The Wraiths had me in some kind of cell. I knew they sent a duplicate of me to marry you. Brandy, honey, you're not even listening. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. I was thinking about Rom. Yeah, I'll just bet you were. I've seen the way you look at our big silver buddy and the way those little red pen-light eyes of his flicker when he sees you. Honey, I admire and respect Rom too. But for Pete's sake, he's not even human. He is so human. And when his mission is over, he'll return to his world and reclaim his lost humanity.
Well,
what happened?
What happened?
Okay.
Sorry about that, folks.
Is that what you're waiting for? To wait for who knows how long for Rom to become a man again so he can take you in his arms? Maybe I should have died in that race cell alongside that lady reporter who sacrificed himself to set me free. There, now you know what happened to Ace O'Connor. And shame on you for having forgotten Rom 15.
Excuse us, Joe.
Don't be mean, editor.
Excuse us, Joe.
And Steve, I love you. I do. I don't know what's wrong with me. The fear, the uncertainty, the horror around us. Honey, I'm sorry. I forgot it was you who almost married a Dire Wraith, not me. I must be crazy to think anyone could go through that kind of nightmare and spring right back to normal. Hey, come here. You can cry on my shoulder. Rom listens, then turns away before he can witness Brandy and Steve's emotional embrace. How I wish mine were the arms to comfort Brandy. But by so wishing, I betray my friendship with Steve. I must leave this place. My duty and my sanity command it. But the shrill screams of sirens can upset the best laid plans of man in Spaceknight. For at that moment, near Clairton's Main Street, what in Sam Hills is that thing? I don't know, but it scared a couple of kids half to death, and now it's tearing through the scrapyard like it was made out of Tinker Toys. And clear out of here. It will take more than a high-pressure hose to slow that monster down. I was hoping you'd say that, Chief, because it gives me a chance to call someone who just might know how to fight this thing. Seconds later in a phone booth. Jonathan, you better contact Rom. Some kind of giant robot, huh? I'll alert our Spaceknight guests at once. Rom! No need to summon me, Mr. Clark. I heard the sirens wail. I'll fly to the source of the trouble at once. Meanwhile, the metallic marauder is finished with... It was tearing apart the cast-off cars in the Clairton junkyard and is moving towards Main Street itself. With no humans able to hold its advance, the contract suddenly stops of its own accord. Where are my masters? Why have they summoned me from my slumber? What is my task? Suddenly, a silver streak shoots down from the sky and delivers the Wraith creation a crushing blow. This creature is a watch wraith, a synthezoid sentry whose sole purpose is to safeguard its murderous master. Yes, it is so! But where are my masters? Without them, I have no purpose, no direction! Then the Wraiths must have abandoned their base in Clairton. Your purpose means nothing to me. Leave the humans alone. No, though unprogrammed, I must have awakened for a reason. Wait. Even now I retrieve an identification of you from the storage circuits of my memory banks. You are Rom, greatest of the Spaceknights, my master's enemy. True enough, my mission is to defeat your evil creators, but I bear you no malice. You lie! I see my duty clearly now. My masters must have fled from you and left me behind to safeguard their retreat. Meanwhile, observing the cataclysmic clash from behind his parked car. It was a cover-up. People in this town are protecting Rom. Don't they know that Metal Man destroyed a secret government installation? Why are they on his side? And you are grafting a man in armor, Rom. You can feel pain, whereas I am machine, unhampered by feeling. Prepare to bling bling and keep sniping away, Jack. We gotta draw that robot away from Rom. Yeah, but what do we do if our shots draw the robot towards us? Oh no, here it comes! Humans! He shattered the building we were standing on! Have no fear. You risked your life to save mine. Could I do less in return? Rom! Until a month ago, most of Clairton had never heard of Rom, or have heard of, or having heard, had disbelieved. The rest, except for Brandy and Steve, have regarded the Silver Space Knight with fear and loathing. Now there are others who believe in Rom, who know he fights for the people of Earth. But what good is faith in a champion when the champion falls? Can even a Space Knight survive submersion in the Wraith's plasma fire, Rom? The searing, seething liquid seeps into my very circuits, igniting inside my armor. If I can find no way to flush it out, I may well be doomed. But Rom's newfound friends have no intention of abandoning the Galadorian. That stuff covering Rom must be some kind of some outer space kind of napalm. Let's see if we can wash it off with that abandoned fire hose. But this is insane. First, the townspeople denied Rom even existed, and now they're saving him from certain destruction. I got a story here, all right, but what does it mean? As Matt Kilburn furiously takes notes on the action, the staggered Space Knight, his cyborg circuitry awash with unaccustomed pain, rises to face the race killer's construct once again. Again, I am indebted to these people, with them fighting beside me to save their world from race conquest. My quest no longer seems so lonely, so impossible. By allying themselves with you, Space Knight, the humans have signed their own death warrants. They shall perish after you. The race blasts me bat me back with energy eye gleams, whose force rivals that of my fellow Space Knight Terminator. Yep. The race, watch race beams batter Rom back through the plate glass window of the local ice cream emporium. Mrs. Hopper, forget that extra scoop. Please, humans, I cannot battle the watch race and ensure your safety. I thought the Clarion said all this Rom stuff was a joke. I'm going to write a letter to the editor. Wait a second. The watch race will be upon me once again. Perhaps now I may defeat him. Caution, freezer, sub-zero freon gas. And have come, Galadorian. There is nothing that can keep you from me now. I rejoice to hear it, servant of evil. Prepare to meet your end. What mad vanity seizes you in your final moments of life, Space Knight? Wait, those cables you clutch so tightly. What can you hope to? Look cold. I watch Wraith, a cold, more intense, more numbing than the dark nebula itself. It is the humans who have done this thing. Was the humans who set these cables there and filled them with freezing gas. But it is my Space Knight armor that boosts the freezer's power, enabling it to drop it into a temperature low enough to immobilize you. But channeled through Rom's awesome armor, the freezing freon begins to overcome even the Star Wars Space Knight himself. The watch race is freezing. Yeah, but Rom's freezing too. The sub-zero colds lock the freon cables to his armor hand. I gotta shut off the power before Rom runs out of antifreeze or whatever's kept him alive this long. Hurry, Steve, hurry! The switch throw. Rom's own circuits respond and ease the feedback to threaten to overpower the Space Knight as well as his foe. I thank you, Steve Jackson. You have saved my life a second time. Yeah, I know. For a second there, I hesitated. The watch rates may have been terminated. The watch rates may have been terminated. You need fear it no longer. Exhausted beyond measure, Rom emerges to unfamiliar applause. Here he comes! He's a hero! How'd we ever doubt him? We never will again!
We love Rom. We love Rom.
But if some Clairtoners have come to praise Rom, there is an outsider who will not understand. You're all crazy! That robot alien just tore half your town apart! He's a menace! Then I don't know how he's managed to brainwash the entire community, but I intend to spread the word to Roms and Roms on Earth to the whole world. What? My notes! Writing something, mister, sounds like science fiction to me. Crazy stuff. All about robots and aliens? Are you people crazy? Protecting that thing? Notes or no notes, I saw what I saw, and there's no way you can cover up the destruction caused by Rom's fight with that space robot before. That truck smashed through the same window the watch race and blasted into. It wasn't there before. Sure it was. Terrible accident. Don't know how long it'll take to clear it up.
Yeah, come on.
I love that the old Marvel still has this sense of humor about it. So.
I know. They won't get away with this. My paper will print the truth. You have no paper, Mr. Kilburn. We checked. You quit your job writing phony UFO reports for the Washington Weekly News. Highly respectable journalism, I say. Seems to me anybody thinks twice for accepting a cock and bull story like that from you now, feller. As the small group of townspeople move away, Mac Kilburn finds himself railing at an empty street. Those people are right. No one will believe Kilburn about Rom and his reputation as a hack reporter. Why should they? What now, big buddy? The watch race proved that there's still a raceman here in Clairton. No, Steve Jackson. The Synsoid himself proclaimed that the race have fled this sector. They could not face both my power and your town's increased awareness of their presence. Then Clairton safe? You'll want to be moving on? My quest. Your quest is to save Earth. Even you can't accomplish that alone, Rom. You saw that today. Let us help you. It's our world after all. Stay here in Clairton. Use it as a base of operation. Why face the future without friends? Stay. Yeah. One big happy family. Your words touch my heart, Brandy Clark. Long have I fought the race, evil without respite. There have been only a few worlds where I was welcome, where a place was offered that I could call home. I always refused. My mission ever demanded my refusal. No longer. I may be a man with a mission, but I am also a man. I accept your hospitality with all my heart.
Next issue, Hybrid Plus the X-Men.
Okay, we don't need this summary, of course, but then together with his companions, Starshine and Terminator, he scoured the stars in search of the Dire Wraith. The Prime Director has made it clear. And so this one was colored by someone else. So though Galador is safe. Yep. No other worlds could be so long as a single race survived. Comlinks, communication link-ups, of course. There's in their armor enabling. We already know to talk to each other. Look, a Galadorian hospital ship under attack by a squadron of Wraiths and Dracillas. The Dracillas, those fierce bat-winged battlecrafts of the Dire Wraith that wrecked such destruction of Galador's outpost worlds during the Great War. Again and again, their ebony energy rays strike at the helpless hospital ship.
Now, why couldn't there be toys of these guys to give Rom somebody to fight?
Yeah, that would have been great.
Unfortunately, though, Parker Brothers was not like the other toy companies who thought about spinning it off.
Right.
At least have that.
What could have been.
Hasbro was smart with their comics and toys and toys.
Yep. Rob, having recently lost his beloved Reyna to the race, is not inclined to be merciful. Vile, shape-shifting slaughterers, my neutralizer shall make short shrift of you. Reyna's death has wrought in a change in our comrade at arms, Starshine. He dispatches the enemy to Limbo and destroys their ships ruthlessly. Your cold killer's efficiency admires that, does it not, Terminator? For my part, I am content to see the race destroy themselves, though I'll admit that my blinding light eyes increase the chances they'll do so. But Rom and I strike from a safe distance, Terminator, while you hurl yourself recklessly upon the race. Don't you wish to survive our quest so that you may one day reclaim your lost humanity? Terminator says nothing, and the three cyborg warriors have destroyed the Dracilla squadron, soared towards the crippled hospital ship. The hull is breached in so many places. Can there be anyone within left alive? On much of the defenseless hospital vessel has been devastated by the raceways, and the gallant Galadorians discovered no trace of life or death until Starshine, Terminator, to my side. The dead drift weightlessly as if engaged in some ghastly dense macabre. lit by starlight through the ruptured ship's hull. Their flesh takes on a purplish pallor. Starshine chokes back a cry. There may be others. There must be. This vessel bore thousands. Crews, hospital staff, and patients. They can't all be dead. Again, Terminator keeps his peace. Soon, after passing through several undamaged airlocks, survivors, but they draw away from us in mortal fear. Peace, Galadorians. We are space knights, not wraiths. We have come to aid you. To help? Yes, you can help us by killing us, every one of us, man, woman, and child, as quickly as you can. And stunned, the Space Knights trio draws nearer to the survivors who stand huddled around the hospital ship's humming star drive engine. We cannot come to bring you death, but life. Surely it is your encounter with the dreaded Dire Wraith that has filled you with such unreasoning terror. No, back! Keep away! It is you who does not understand! With a swiftness that stuns the senses, Terminator shoves his sister Space Knight's side and trays his black eye beams on the star drive power core. The gallant Galadorian physician is correct, Starshine. The only way we may help these poor wretches now is to deliver them unto them a sweet and merciful death. Rom, stop Terminator! He's gone mad! If his eye beams ignite the power core of the ship, well, there can be no sound in airless vacuum of space. And if there was, that sound could represent such total devastation. No! Setting down on a nearby asteroid, Starshine prepares to turn her own light rays on her ebony armored ally. Starshine, no. You would defend the mad murderer, Rom? Can't you see that he destroyed even his own people? He is not a machine anymore, but a cold cyborg monster. He has no humanity left. At last, Terminator breaks his silence. Hear me, and Gold Starshine, and then judge me if you will. Did you see the discoloration spreading over the skin of those survivors whom I killed? Yes. The drug killers did not seek to destroy the hospital ship, but to infect it with the race plague, a pestilence for which no cure has ever been found. There was once a sun-washed world called Syre, a joyous world, alive with art and music. The songs died the day the race came. And this whole world dead or dying. Use levitation grapple beams to handle the stricken. Touch nothing or you'll be infected as well. It was the first time any Galadorian had witnessed the ravages of the race plague. I was the only one of my people to survive transport in a life support to Galador. There, Galador's greatest surgeons, unable to find a way to stem the plague's advance, and salvaged what living cells of mine they could, and grafted them into this ebony armor I now inhabit. My deceased cells were immediately destroyed. Now do you see why that doctor and the rest of the hospital ship pleaded with us to destroy them? He knew that there could be no cure, no salvation, only the risk of infecting the rest of the Golden Galaxy if they were permitted to carry the plague to Galador. As for me, Starshine, you were right. I am a man no longer. The race plague has ensured that I will never become one again. Unlike you, I have no humanity left to return to.
Damn. Oh my god.
She-Hulk start.
She-Hulk. Wow, that was dark.
Yep. But now, guest
X-Men. And guest starring the young kid.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go, baby.
We got two more issues.
All right, you know what to do, Rooski.
The computer screams of the mutant and the detector device, Cerebro, wails off the walls of a certain Westchester County private academy. Thus did this storm. Cerebro discovered something, Nightcrawler. I thought perhaps Banshee had returned, his sonic powers restored, and Wolverine. Colossus, all I know is that blasted machine woke me from a sound sleep. What is Cerebro? What's all this mean? So basically, this is not long after Kitty has joined.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're in peak X-Men now. Okay, Chris.
Well, she was Sprite by this point. It means,
gotcha.
Right, my fledgling student, that a power of incredible proportions has just manifested itself on Earth. But whether it is a force for good or evil, it's up for you, X-Men, to discover. The 5 mutants, for that is what they are. Each possess a power beyond that of mere Homo sapiens. Your telepathic summons was most urgent, Professor. Gather round their wheelchair-bound mentor, Professor X, he whose incredible mind makes him on one of the mightiest mutants of them all. So, the world's got a new mutant! But and what's he mean? Up to us to discover. Cerebro's dysfunction is to attack mutants, and part of the X-Men reasons for existence is to make contact with them. Yeah? Please sheath your claws, Wolverine. I have no way of knowing yet whether this new mutant is a menace or a potential ally. You can't bet Magneto's already looking in to turn him into the former. Yes, there is always that danger. And from your tone, that would seem to be more than you have so far told us, Professor. You are astute, Storm. Yes, Cerebro's signal, though strong, is diffused. The fact that it comes from the vicinity of faraway Clairton, West Virginia, might account for that. Yet there's also the possibility that the mutant is different from any encounter, perhaps not human. As you said, Professor, making such a determination is part of the X-Men's reason for being, and trashing them is the other part. Hey, wait! It is with a measure of pride that Charles Xavier watches his X-Men depart. But there is fear also, for he has seen too many of his students, his children, come to grief. If he would protect them from that side of being an X-Man if he could, but he cannot. And so Professor X sits before his monitors and machines and watches and worries and prays. At that very moment, hundreds of kilometers to the south, in the very county in question, Jacob Marks said it was a matter of life or death. Otherwise, I wouldn't have snowmobiled all the way up from Clairton. Something about his wife. No smoke coming from the chimney. Barn in disrepair. And Lord, the livestock. Dr. John Stennis is a simple man, playing a time-honored trade. He's more at home delivering babies than deciphering mysteries. Is this why he phoned me? I'm a general practitioner, not a vet. Jacob Marks? No answer. The front door is wide open, despite the 15-degree weather. In an age when most physicians and avoid house calls like the plague, John Stennis answers the summonings of his patient, as he has done every year for 35 years. Yet he cannot help but feel this time is somehow different. Jacob? Marjorie? Anybody home?
Yeah, the Crypt Keeper.
The voice is weak, as close to the grave as a voice can come. Dr. Stennis' eyes adjust to the dim light inside the farmhouse, and he sees, Marjorie, for the love of heaven, girl! And no, Doc, not heaven. The creature that claimed my match comes from as close to purgatory as any living being can get. You're too late, Doctor. The horror's already taken her. You can't help now. No one can. Jacob, Marjorie, she's aged. Why? She can't be more than 38, but she looks 100. What happened to her? The same thing that killed the livestock. Good God, man, why didn't it affect you as well? Because the horror wanted me to see what it would do. Wanted me to suffer. Jacob, you're changing. Too weak to hold my form, Doc. On a second.
Intermission.
Sorry, just becoming what I really am, what I've always been. Maybe it's better this way, Doc. Maybe you understand the horror. You're not human, but Marjorie, your son Jimmy. You've seen my wife. Now see my son. And his mind reeling in horror and confusion. Doc Stennis nevertheless forces himself towards the open door. It was in this very room 15 years ago that he brought Jacob Mark's son into the world. That stench, like a carnal house. Hello, Doctor. Have you come to play with me? No, it's not possible. It can't be true. Dr. Stennis has seen death before, brought about by accident.
I don't blame him for making that face. That's it. This is scary shit so far.
Or disease, but the horror that greets them is a distorted child's voice, can have no natural origin, save from beyond the grave. It is more than Stennis' human mind can bear. Then, when the good doctor has fled for his life, curse you! You could have at least let him take your mother to the hospital. Hello, Daddy. You're human again. Like Mommy. I had to keep her here. I want you to see what I do to her, so that you'll know how bad you were to ever have loved that smooth-skinned earthling sow. Merciful heaven, what horror have I wrought? Jacob Marley's only answer is a thick, gurgling laughter, and a stench like that from a crypt. A short distance away, Clairton's county coroner, Silius Lane, arrives by invitation at the house of Jonathan and Sarah Clark. I just got in from Washington when I got your call, Jonathan. I know. That's why we wanted to see you, Silius. Come in. We, a group of your friends and neighbors, we understood that you were sitting through files at the National Bureau of Record. Mountains of them. Births and death certificates issued in Clairton's 5 decades back. Come across something mighty interesting, too. So if we, in Clairton, come across something mighty interesting, Silius, I'd like to introduce you to Rom Spaceknight. Sweet salvation! The robot has been killing our townspeople, sitting in your living room. Greetings, Earthman. Here for some tea, Silius? The robot's got you all in his power. It's the only answer. I've got to call the state police before he incinerates me with his death ray like he did. No one human's been harmed, Silius. Those men Rom banished were never men at all. Summary again. I will say though, this is believable to give a summary at least here.
This guy.
There's always stuff. And at least they're keeping it short to like one panel.
Then, and everyone at some point here can confirm it, the race crumbled to ash, just like all those others Rom was supposed to have killed. 2 Steves? Aliens turning to ash at death? It sounds like some insane television movie plot.
No kidding.
The race wanted to conquer Earth, to use it as a base to launch an invasion of his world. Rom came to stop them, but the race have the power to change their shape to that of any living form. Only Rom's energy analyzer can reveal the race to Rom's cyborg eyes. In the last few days, more than a dozen Clairton families have vanished, as if they never existed. We believe now that they were Dire Wraith disguised as humans, infiltrating our community. Are those, and these the names of those who have vanished? Silius Lane removes a handful of index cards from his attaché case, and a quick review reveals. Yes, that's them, all except for Jacob Marks, a farmer who lives away and back in the hills beyond Clairton. The data on some cards impossibly records dozens of these people as having been born on the same day, November 9th, 1945. Other cards seem to have been altered or removed. I see only Jacob Marks' name on this card. But he has a family. Marjorie Marks can't be erased, Jonathan. I've known her since she was a little girl, and I helped Dr. Stennis deliver her child. The race scheme is clear. Sarah Clark, fleeing the space knights, they arrived here on Earth in your year, 1945. They took guided as humans of all ages, and then forged birth records showing them all to have been born on a day chosen at random. They moved in amongst you unsuspected, as Brandy has explained to me, because of the confusion following your Second World War. But when I arrived and began banishing them to limbo, the race realized that the deaths of some of their number would cause their records to be examined, perhaps revealing them all. The records of those races yet living were thus altered, undoubtedly by a race inside your government. Jacob Marks' name, however, was overlooked, but that concerns me less than the awesome fact that a race may have married a human woman and sired a child.
Bum, bum, bum.
Pronouncement. Soon, the roar of and gasoil-driven snowmobiles follows the wash of Rom's rocket pack across the west.
I want a snowmobile, man.
The Marks family is just ahead, Rom, and this is the only way we could have made it in this blizzard. His crimson eye screen scanning the snow-covered landscape from his vantage point on high. Rom is the first to see. Humans, Brandy, Steve, draw your vehicle no nearer until I may determine the nature of these beings. Hey, Rom, can't you see that woman? She's Marjorie Marks, but something's happened to her, something awful. Easy, Brandy. You know how the race have deceived us before. There'll be no deception this time. I, Jacob Marks, am a Dire Wraith, as Rom no doubt already suspects. But my wife is human, and she needs immediate medical care. Making no comment, Rom summons his subspace his energy analyzer. Set to a narrow beam, it registers the life force of the wizard old crone, identified to him as the Earthborn woman Marjorie Marks. The woman is what he claimed. Go to her, Brandy. Her life energies are dangerously low. But Rom, what could have... ask not, human, for the sake of your own sanity. Seek not to know that which would only drive you mad. Lean on Steve and me, Marjorie. We're here to help you. And what do we do, Rom? Stay here or... No, take the woman to where she may receive whatever aid your doctors have to offer. No need to train your analyzer beam on me, Rom. I am what I said I was, a Dire Wraith. One of my that race you hold to be your mortal enemy. See, I reveal myself to you now in my transitionary shape, between my true form and human self. Holy cow! I've seen those buzzers up close, like when they held me prisoner and sent my double to marry you, Brandy. But I'll never get used to that. And yet, if you hadn't escaped me, I might have been married to one of them, like Marjorie. Oh, Steve, she's dying. We have to get her to Clairton Hospital. As Brandy Clark and Steve Jackson rush the frail Marjorie marks away, Rom confronts the Wraith. Banishment to limbo is too good a punishment for what you've done to that poor woman, Space Scum. I would never have harmed Marjorie, Spaceknight. I love her. You disbelieve that one such as I can show that emotion? Listen then to my tale, then judge if you will. I arrived here in Earth, year 1940. My damaged killer freighter craft was incapable of further flight or communication with the main Wraith fleet. I could neither escape nor summon aid. I was alone. No, not entirely alone, for I soon discovered that this planet harbored intelligent life, in appearance not unlike you Galadorians, but technologically primitive. Few fleeting encounters with human beings taught me that they regarded my natural state with horror. I was shot at. Dogs were set upon me. I fled, but I was tired of fleeing. And tired of fighting. 2 centuries of defeat at the hands of you Space Knight had caused that. So I decided to do something uncharacteristic for one of my race. I decided to become human. Not to infiltrate or spy or disrupt, but to dwell among an alien people, and peace was my only desire. With my race shape-changing powers, the transformation was easily effective. The humans had just ended a war. Soldiers were returning, and refugees and displaced persons were finding new homes. I walked among them, unnoticed, unquestioned. Soon my identity as Jacob Marks, farmer, was established. I felt secure enough to follow human custom and take a wife. At first, I courted Marjorie Seaton merely to further my disguise. Later, I felt certain stirrings within me, caused by this Earth girl, that could only be what the humans called love. More than a decade after my arrival on Earth, I, a Dire Wraith, took a human and woman of Earth to be my wife. Ours was a happy marriage. Marjorie never questioned my hesitancy to have a child, so I knew she wanted one dearly. At last, sure of my adopted humanity, I dare tried. 15 years ago today, Dr. John Stennis delivered our son James. He appeared human in all respects. Years later, my race heritage, which I had managed to submerge in my memory, resurfaced with a vengeance. I tried to disguise myself from people by displaying shock, horror, revulsion, any human emotion. Who are you? What are you? What do you want? You know us just as we know you. No race can hide from another. As to what we want your son, the first hybrid offspring of a race and a human. I should have slain them or run from there with my wife and son. But untold centuries of utter obedience to the Wraith elders proved too strong to overcome. May heaven forgive me. Marjorie, we have guests. Jacob, who are they? You told me you had no friends, no family. What do they want? They wish to see your son. It is their right. On that day, our marriage died. Behind locked doors, my son Jimmy was initiated into the secrets of his arcane ancestry. He proved a receptive pupil. As his parents, Marjorie and I were suffered to live. I had no will to resist, but my wife proved stronger. I don't know what kind of monsters you've given our son over to, but I'm taking him away from here. Jimmy, where? Leave, mother. I know. I think. Leave me, mother? No, I think not. I've too much to learn, too much to do. How'd you know what I was thinking? Is that what you call your perpetual state of confusion, Mommy? Thinking? Here, let me show you what pure thought is capable of. And now that you've seen, get out! My son had become all that the race, hiding here in Clairton, had hoped he would be. Cold, callous, cruel, and powerful beyond measure. The livestock, all of our animals, dead! Marjorie kept
Well,
trying
I know
to
what we're having for dinner tonight.
to reclaim him. He'd tolerate her as long as the Wraith elders came to entertain and tutor him. Then a week ago, they stopped coming. I would not eat your soup swill now, mother, or ever again. Jimmy, please, He had scalded Marjorie out of pique for his own amusement. I had enough. Curse you! Not all the power of the Dark Nebula will save you now, you little monster. Yes, Daddy, I am a monster. A forbidden crossbreeding of two diametrically opposed races. However, I have no doubt with which my true loyalties lie. While you, Father, are a traitor. Jimmy, ah! Now, Father, I wish to be alone, to think of my own power, and to await the return of the elders, that I may tell them I am ready to aid the cause of racekind, and just so that you will not lack for something with which to occupy your mind, I suggest that you tend to your wife. She needs you. I do not. As I watched in helpless horror, my son aged my wife, his mother, 50 years in seconds. Now he sits in his room, awaiting the return of the race elders, craving the knowledge of evil they bring him. I often wondered, when his tutoring is done, whether he would become the master or they his pupils. Such a time will not come, Jacob Marv. Those who tutored your son have been banished to limbo or driven from Clairton. They will not return. You're doing Spaceknight? Then I pity you. For when my son learns of this, you will face an enemy far mightier than any race, a fiend capable of far graver evil. I think, Wraith, that it is time I met your son. Without hesitation, the Silver Spaceknight enters the farmhouse. His cyborg circuitry registers intense cold, but that his crimson eye sensitive already revealed to him. Gods of Galador, you've been bad. You've been bad, Rom. A very naughty Spaceknight. I'm going to have to punish you for sending my friends away. It was a child's voice. I have come, Jimmy Mark. It is colder still, but mercifully, Rom cannot smell the carnal reek which drove away Dr. Stennis. He can, however, sense the unnaturalness of the presence in the room. A presence which, in the guise of a pleasant, bright-eyed 15-year-old, hovers 6 inches above his bed. Daddy's mind told you what you done. Now I know why my friends haven't come to play with me. Those you await were evil incarnate, deadly destroyers of all that is decent. Your father has told me how you have embraced instruction in their ways. You appear wholly human, but I imagine that it is as much a disguise as your childlike speech. Rom's energy analyzer glows, but even the stalwart Spaceknight is unprepared for the utter maleficence and its ruby red ray reveals when trained on Jimmy Marks. Horror! Yeah!
Oh my God!
Horror, Rom! Why not? That's a good description as any for one born of both race and human parents. One the whole world will soon call hybrid.
Well, I didn't need sleep tonight.
I'm going to be sick all over again.
Galaxies in his 2-century quest to eradicate the evils of the Dire Wraith, but not all the senses of soul-deadening devastation he has witnessed in racekind's wake could have prepared him for the monstrous malignancy that is hybrid. So your machines glow. Let's you see as I really am, Spaceknight. Good. I hate maintaining my human disguise. It was my race tutors who made me aware of what I really am, who I really am, what I really am. They opened my eyes to a truth about myself that Daddy tried to hide from me, that I'm powerful, perhaps the most powerful being on Earth. They were my real friends, and you'll pay for driving them away. With but a gesture, Hybrid tears the room apart. He is no longer human, if he ever truly was, though he speaks with the voice of an adolescent. The race who monitored his growth have taught him to develop his previously latent mutant abilities to their utmost. That's right, Rom. In fact, I sometimes scared my teachers because my powers were beyond those they were able to attain with all their science and sorcery. I am the offspring of 2 races, human and wraith, and I'm already mightier than both. And Jimmy, stop it! The Wraiths who played upon your immaturity to turn you into a creature of their own are gone! They fled Clairton, deserted you. For the first time in years, you're free of their control. Remember your mother, son. Don't disavow your human heritage. That's funny, Daddy, coming from one who spent his entire time on Earth trying to deny that he's a Wraith. I'm not a Wraith or a human, Daddy. I'm beyond both. The Wraiths awoke my powers. I'll turn them against them. You tried to hide my power, and for that, the swiftness of thought, the very pitchfork which Jacob Marks had sought to use to end the menace of his mutant son, levitates off the floor and finds his final resting place in Jacob Marks' heart. He dies instantly, his Wraith spirit taking flight to wherever Wraith spirits go, even as his decades-old human shell disintegrates and drifts as dust down to the floor. Accursed creature, though born a Wraith, Jacob Marks had learned humanity, loving you as a human father loves his son. I'm a child of the Dark Nebula, Rom. I cannot know love or humanity. That is a lie which even I believed before today, never suspecting that Wraiths were made, or that Wraiths are made, not born. Isolated from its kind, your father threw off the evil of Wraith kind, came to learn compassion, love, happiness. But the Wraith elders dare not let their servile hordes dream that such an existence could be theirs. Thus, they reinforce Wraith's evil in their offspring, knowing full well that which does not come naturally can be taught, pounded into young minds until the unnatural becomes the norm. Had the Wraith not interfered, you, hybrid, could have lived as a human child. You could happily have roamed the green hills of Earth, unaware of your inhuman birthright. But I am aware, Spaceknight, and being aware, I find I prefer Wraith evil to simpering human goodness. Then you are no child of Earth. You have forsaken humanity, and having chosen a destiny of evil, I can but call you enemy. I am not just any enemy, Rom. I am hybrid, be it on Earth, Galador, or in the dread Dark Nebula. Never has in my life been seen before. I, foul creature, and never must it be seen again. And who is there to prevent the birth of others like me, Rom? You? Though you may have banished to limbo those Wraiths who knew of my existence and my origin, there are others in my father's flesh and hidden in conclaves here on Earth. Once you've been disposed of, I'll seek them out, force them to mate with unsuspecting humans, and through such crossbreeding, create a new hybrid race obedient only to me. The creature's strength is incredible. He forces me back towards the curtains, rising about my throat as if possessed of a life of their own. I will crack your cyborg casing, Spaceknight, as easily as a fisherman cracks a crab. I have held back, hybrid, hoping for the sake that humanity yet alive in you, that you might repent and be redeemed. Though you are a progeny of Wraith and human parents, it is the Wraith evil that has gained ascendancy in you, and it is my sacred trust to banish that evil in whatever form it be found, to limbo forevermore. In a cruciating corner of cosmic forces, Rom's neutralizer, summoned force from subspace, materializes in the Space Knight's outstretched hand. I will half cast. It is only my Space Knight code, my respect for your father's memory, that makes me banish rather than slay you. It will be your insipid sense of honor that brings about your downfall, Rom. Has it never occurred to you that your weapon might be useless against one crossbred between the human and race? That it might neither banish nor slay? Gods of Galador, there is truth in the creature's words. He stands still, as material as myself, unbanished and alive. My neutralizer was set to banish a Dire Wraith biostructure. Perhaps more power is needed to send hybrid into Limbo's shadowy dimension. Do as you will, Space Knight. Call forth all the power you command. It would not be enough, It will not suffice. Standing its ground, the horror called hybrid laughs in the face of the full fury of Rom's neutralizer assault. An assault that tears apart the modest farmhouse that saw both the creature's birth and the murder of an alien father by his even more inhuman son. You've done your worst, Rom, and it has nothing! Hybrid, I see now that your evil is far graver peril to Earth than the Dire Wraith themselves. Though I swore never to kill, It was only to keep myself from becoming as murderous as my enemy. But you are different. Mercy is alien to you. Banishment seems to be impossible. You leave me no choice, and hybrid. I am forced to slay you. Great speech, Tin Man. One that'll looks well carved on your tombstone. Yahoo, man of metal. Wolverine speaks for all of us. Be on your guards, Nightcrawler. We still haven't found a mutant Cerebro detected, but the robot is obviously powerful and dangerous. And it is clear that he is evil, Storm. Else, why would he have destroyed this farm and threatened a helpless boy? You look for answers, and Colossus. Me, I can't wait to try my adamantium claws against that silver spacesuit. Don't be afraid, Abe. You'll be all right, now that the X-Men are here. Yes, I'm sure we'll be. Hybrid has taken on human form again to dupe these superhumans and defending him, while he devises a way to destroy us all.
Destroy us all!
Destroy us all!
I'll have the chicken.
And last issue of this recording.
Versus.
All right.
Yep.
With the X-Men, yes.
There, X-Men. Yep. The evil mutant Cerebro detective stands below us, encased in armor, holding some weapon. He has destroyed this farm, Storm, and now means to slay the child. This is one Wolverine that's going to enjoy carving him out of his silver and sardine suit. Please don't let him kill me like he killed my mom and dad. And don't worry, the X-Men will protect you. Hybrid hides his real identity and summary of last issue.
Yep. We were there.
Yep. Again, I get it, and at least the artwork is interesting with all of it. But I could skip through all of this.
Yeah.
Yep. At least it's 2 pages of it.
Yep.
Previously.
Yep.
All right.
And that's when the X-Men showed up to interrupt interpreting the situation the way Hybrid wished them to interpret. Strike, X-Men! The creature says the boy says the creature has already slain twice. Teleport him away. Teleport from him. Away from him, Alf. You're in the way of my cause. We must attack as a team, Wolverine. Stow it, Man of Steel. Nobody made you Scoutmaster of this troop. The humans give me no chance to explain. And yet, would they believe me anyway? Hovering above, on the winter wind, the nominated leader of the X-Men suddenly becomes aware of an elemental disturbance. The blizzard is sweeping in out of nowhere with unnatural swiftness. It is not my creation. Could the armored mutant have caused this? Suddenly, Storm extends sensitive probing in an effort to ascertain the blizzard's origins. You want him, Wolverine. You want him, Wolverine. You may have him. I mean to, Nightcrawler, and carved like a Christmas turkey. I ain't had a chance to really unleash my adamantium fingernails on anyone since we fought the Wendigos. It's going to be a real distinct pleasure slicing this armored assassin down to steel shaving. Pain, gods of Galador, my cyborg neurocircuit screamed as if slashed by white-hot razors.
Adamantium rage.
Yep, the newest X-Men Sprite watches wide-eyed. Golly, Wolverine means to kill that creature. He really does. So his thoughts reveal to me, human child, and your fellow X-Men shall succeed with Hybrid's help. Exercising the mere modicum of his awesome power, Hybrid analyzes the mutant ability of the woman called Storm and activates it undetected, magnifying the blizzard into a full gale force wind. Sprite, leave the fight to us. Safeguard the boy. I will, Colossus, but you be careful. Please? Storm, your blizzard drives us apart. We cannot function as a unit. It is not my doing. Something is interfering with, superseding my powers, Nightcrawler. I cannot get it back under my control. She speaks, but I cannot hear her through the winds. And visibility falling rapidly within the whirling whiteness of the gale. The X-Men nevertheless press on. This is the second encounter I've had with superhuman Earthlings.
See, Jack of all hearts.
Yep. And I'm starting to hear my echo again. Why did you do that after we go for so long, Alex? That's weird. That is weird. Again, I must ask myself, if such as they exist, do the Earths truly require me to protect it from the Dire Wraith? And must I continue to fight against those who I should fight alongside? You sucker punch Colossus because the big stiff is too hung up about the sanctity of life to kill, creep. But Wolverine ain't got no such compunctions. But still, even I'm holding back. Why? The stink of evil's too strong to be denied. But somehow, it don't seem like it's coming from old Silver Dome there. The one who caused me such pain. I dare not let him strike at me again. Above. Still, the elements refuse to respond to my control. There is another unseen power at work here. Storm's instincts do not betray her. The same power that has whipped wind into a gale now levitates and summon and common farm implements and hurls them into the fray with death-dealing force. Wolverine, look out, my friend. And Elf, what the devil? Pitchforks! This is how Hybrid slew his father. Unsure of the X-Men ability to destroy me, he now chooses to enter the battle himself. Storm, too, senses a change in the balance of power. Whatever hurled those farm influence was willing to sacrifice the X-Men as well. This gale, for instance, would tear us all apart if I did not remain aloft, exerting all my power to contain it. That then must be my role in this battle. I pray the X-Men can discover the true enemy before a tragedy occurs. While below, something moderates the gale. It is intense, but no longer impossibly so. I must take advantage of its elemental cover to avoid the X-Men and locate Hybrid before he... There, where's the girl? Storm? Colossus? Wolverine? Hey, gang, I can't see you anymore. Hybrid's hellish shape rises behind her. He has shed his human guise. His soul freezes within his cyborg shell at the thought of the innocent sprite perishing at Hybrid's hand. Rom cries, "Child, hear me. There is danger." Holy smoke, it's the monster mutant. He's shouting something, but I can't hear him over the wind. He can't hurt me, I think. I mean, I can phase out of harm's way, becoming unsolid. But I gotta protect Jimmy. Sprite turns, but the boy behind her is it's a boy no longer. He has shed his human aspect, becoming what an obscene intermingling of human and race genes has made him. A loathsome, hideous horror. You were going to protect me, girl human, but who is going to protect you? Oh, no, no, no. Get away from him, child. Get behind me. I will guard you from... And what has happened is this. In her terror, Sprite has acted instinctively to save her life by phasing through Rom. Unfortunately,
that tickled.
This slipping of one living being's atoms through the atoms of semi-human Rom has had an unfortunate side effect. It has left Rom wrecked with incredible nausea. And as his cyborg circuitry tries to unscramble itself, Hybrid comes closer. Jimmy, that monster! It was Jimmy, the mutant! If that's what it is, try to protect me from it! I'm so confused! The blizzard grows worse. Isn't it astonishing how malleable these human cattle are, Spaceknight? You will not harm them. And who's to stop me, Rom? You? Ha! Nightcrawler, Wolverine. I cannot find Sprite. In this blizzard, it is hard to locate oneself, Colossus. This inability to see has nullified my teleportation power. I do not understand what Storm is trying to accomplish by blinding friend as well as foe. Unless she's not behind it, Elf. There's something screwy going on here. Come on, we ain't accomplishing anything by imprinting our butts on the snow. We gotta find Sprite and the kid. And we will spread out and search and Nick Wah, Kurt, above, combating the malevolent maelstrom. Oh, Professor Xavier, dear teacher, did you know what you were sending us into? Did you know that your cerebro detected a mutant powerful enough to destroy all your beloved X-Men? The X-Men forge on into the baleful blizzard. That evil I sent it earlier is stronger, deadlier than before. If whatever's given it off has got its hooks into Sprite, I am used into moving undetected, but in the dark, not helplessly as in this too white bright snow. If anything should happen to Kitty Eye, no, nothing will happen to Sprite. Nothing will. I can sense the others moving through the snow, converging on the locus of the gale. I do not know what they will encounter there. I only pray that they are strong enough to survive the encounter. Shall we end this little charade now, human and Rom? How do you prefer to die? Gasping for air, asphyxiating as I cut off your respirator, which supplies oxygen to your human cells wrapped in your armor? Or shall I age you as I age my mother? Will your biostructure break down before your armor turns to rust? I am not afraid to die, creature. I will, however, fight with every fiber of my being to survive. Fight, Spaceknight? How, when you can hardly even stand? The accursed abomination speaks the truth. Somehow, in passing her atoms through mine, the girl child called Sprite upset the magnetic polarity of my circuitry. The resultant flux has all but immobilized me. Still, if I fail, who will save the X-Men? Who will fight for Earth? You're neutralizing again, Rom? Did you not learn its limits when last you attempted to banish me to limbo and failed? The neutralizer is not set to banish this time, hybrid. It is set to slay. At that moment, the whirling wall of white parts to permit Colossus a partial view of the struggle, even as the deafening shriek of the storm abates enough to enable him to hear the high whine of Rom's neutralizer. That sound and the mutant's weapon. Can he have trained it on Kitty? Please, whatever deity exists, let it not be. She is special to me. Casting aside any concern for his own safety, Colossus hurls himself headlong into the snowstorm to aid Sprite. But the dimly seen form he encounters belongs to neither the warm-blooded junior X-Men nor the cold-armored mutant. Colossus' organic steel hands come in contact with the plaid mucoid flesh of hybrid, and I am changing. Something is changing me. But touch your mind, mutants, subtly shifting your neural mechanisms that transform you from a being of steel to a man of flesh and blood. Now it will amuse me to leave you to die, fighting for air as your expanding throat muscles cut off your oxygen. Colossus' attack has caused Hybrid to lose sight of Rom. Leaving the gasping X-Men where he has fallen, Hybrid stalks through the drift in search of the Spaceknight. Colossus! Pieta! Kurt Wagner stares at Colossus and knows whatever has done this to his powerful fellow X-Men may still be close by, waiting to strike him as well. Nightcrawler would be wise to look to his own safety, lest he be the next to fall. But Kurt Wagner and Pietro Rasputin are friends, and when one is an X-Men, the life of a friend comes before anything else. A short distance away, I'm getting close to something, but it ain't the evil I said before. 'Tis cold steel and warm tissue combined. The evil mutant? Something about him makes me keep all him back. That ain't no way to win a fight. Pretty sure this cold's gonna get to me. I'll slow down. 5 gets you 10, he won't hesitate to scrag me. The only way to come out of this fracas alive is to draw first blood. You, with the razor claw and the raking razor claw and edge claws. Wait, I must speak with... what am I complaining about? That's the way I like it. The rasp of adamantium claws on cyborg steel shrieks above the wailing of the wind, reaching the ears of the youngest X-Man and Sprite. That's so-called lost. But I gotta find the others, X-Men. Warn them about the monster. Huh? What's that ahead? Oh my gosh, it's Wolverine trying to kill the being who saved me from the monster. I gotta stop. Stop is exactly what Sprite does, freezing in her tracks, her warning cry dying in her throat. For her instinct has warned her of another presence behind her, one which she has already experienced, one in which fills her with revulsion, dread, and helpless horror. There's nowhere you can run from me, girl child, and it strikes me that you would be a fitting receptacle for my first experiment in crossbreeding. No, please stay away from me. Well, what am I doing? I'm an X-Man, but I'm not some scared schoolgirl. I mean, I'm scared, sure, but I got my phasing powers, my X-Men training, and my brains. Now I just gotta stop shivering long enough to use them. Right, okay, the snowmobile will buy me time. Abandoned by Dr. John Stennis when he fled the Marx family in fright. The snowmobile's key is still in his ignition, but the motor is cold and responds sluggishly. Come on! Hybrid shambles out of the storm. God bless General Motors.
General Motors.
And cease your futile resistance, girl child. Embrace your future. I will reduce you to your component parts, even as I do this vehicle. He's taken the snowmobile apart with his mind. Oh, now he's telekinetically hurling the pieces at me. Gotta phase out and let their atoms slip past mine. But the colds make it so hard to concentrate. There, not so bad. That's the last of... Oh no, the engine block itself! Again, Sprite phases out, letting the mass metal slip through the space between our atoms. That did it. I daren't try phasing again until I stop shivering. I might lose control and not be able to reassemble. But how else do I keep out of Hybrid's hand? Backing away, eyes frantically scanning the snow behind her for some glimpse of the horror pursuing her. Sprite unwittingly backs into, who? Wolverine? Kid, where the blade did you come from? Ah! Oh! You got a great sense of timing, kiddo. I was just about to gouge that Tin Man's heart out. Oh, Wolverine, no, he's on our side. There's something else here. Something horrible, evil. It's already tried to kill me for not agreeing to do what it wanted. And shuddering at the mere remembrance of Hybrid's obscene intentions, Sprite quickly relates her tale to Wolverine. And so the kid was no kid, but some kind of horror? That explains the second set I kept getting wind of, and also why I kept holding back from covering up old Robbie the robot. He didn't rebel.
Robbie the robot.
And he's not. Where is he? Not far away, but in deadly danger. I see you have recovered, Spaceknight. Good. It would have afforded me little pleasure to have slain an already fallen foe. My weakness caused me to misaim my neutralizer before, Hybrid. I am not weakened now. No, but neither are you possessed of your weapon. And nearby witness these events. And noseless. There's gotta be there has gotta be the slimy sucker whose scent keeps making me gag. He disarmed the armored mutant, so I noticed. And now that walking horror and horror show is trying to crack him out of his armor. Like you or I'd crack meat out of a lobster claw. Okay, mucus mouse. I was winning have batted this gizmo away if he wasn't afraid of it. So I'll use it to get in the Tin Man out of trouble. Do you know how to work it, Wolverine? And what's to know? I'm Benny's just like any other gun, kiddo. And the Canuck Secret Service trained me to use any kind of gun. And sure, all I gotta do is aim, squeeze the trigger, and yeah! Not meant to be fired by human hand. Rom's neutralizer sends a bone-shattering energy feedback flashing through Wolverine's body.
Rom's voice is the narrator again.
Not meant to be fired by human hand. Rom neutralizer sends a bone-shattering energy feedback flashing through Wolverine's body. The X-Men's adamantium skeleton absorbs the impact, but the recoil hurls him into a cushioning drift. Whatever your hope of salvation, where lies your hope of salvation now, Rom? You stand before me, disarmed, and the humans are unable to fire your weapon. I'll say that blasted ray gun almost broke every adamantium bone in my body. I feel like I've been run through a berserker and Barco lounger. Should have relied on my claws. We're losing, and Wolverine's down. I don't know where Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus are. The armor mutant's in trouble. I'm the only one left. I saw what the gun did to Wolverine, but it seems to be the only thing that Hybrid's afraid of. I've got to try to fire it again. Kiddo, have you got nuts? That thing will turn your bones to powder. So one would suspect, but the girl I saved is saving me. Its slime-slick body slashed and sheared by the neutralizer's killing beam. Hybrid turns upon his tormentor. You will die when I reach you, girl child. You will die. I know. That's why I can't let you reach me. But if this gun doesn't stop you, what in heaven's day will? Incredible. The girl's electrical energies, the same which partially paralyzed me earlier, enables her to wield my neutralizer. But she or her companion must have inadvertently changed its setting. The neutralizer can be set to banish race kind, to destroy anything else, or to project both banishing and destructive energies at once. It is that last setting alone which is powerful enough to prevail against Hybrid, but he will reach the girl child before she can discover that setting, unless I intervene. You cannot stop me, mutant! I am coming for you! But you will not reach her while I live, you inhuman horror. The alien is taking on Hybrid again to help me! Child, the neutralizer may be reset by electrical impulses, such as those generated by my armor, or by your own mutant power. I understand. I never tried to manipulate any but my own atoms, but I'll try now. No! I am the first of my kind! I must not perish! Gods of Galador, I am bathed in my own weapon's beam. It is shredding a Hybrid, blasting his atom molecules, but it is also opening the barrier between the dimensions, creating the rift in space through which I banished many a race. Now I am falling helplessly through myself. and my neutralizer. The one device which could free me remains unearthed in the hands of a child. No longer. With hybrid destruction Rom's appearance. No! Sprite's tenuous control over the Galadorian neutralizer falters, and the recoil sends the weapon flying from her hand. At once, the storm, driven by Hybrid's malevolent mind power, ends. Storm, who tried to contain the blizzard, unaware that it was caused by her own powers under Hybrid's control, returns to Earth. The X-Men, do they live? Yes. Pieter, I am all right now, Kurt. You sustained me through the crisis. And over. Sun's coming through. The clouds? I don't scent that alien salt hard anymore. I don't scent the smell guy we tried to save either. Kitty, your hands, they're burned. They hurt. But it doesn't matter. He tried to help me, Storm. The Armored Man. He saved us from Hybrid while I destroyed them both with his own weapon. I killed him. Oh, Kitty, I could not see all that transpired through the snow, but I sensed that a great evil has been eradicated. The Armored Man, whoever he was, wherever he came from, obviously wished that. I believe he sacrificed himself, knowing it was the only way to bring it about. Our mission here is done, X-Men. We have encountered the mutant detected by Professor X. It was not, as we first mistakenly assumed, the armored being. It was instead Hybrid. We determined that he was evil and presided over his destruction. Let us return home and pray that our unknown ally, whom we gravely wronged, is at peace. A weapon of unearthly origin lies unnoticed in the West Virginia snow, while in a realm between time and space, its master drifts, helpless without it. Distant cries reach his cyborg ears, the keying wails of lost soul, the obscene laughter of vengeful villainy. Rom knows where he is. He has dispatched too many of his fiendish foemen here not to know, and they eagerly await the moment when he shall be delivered into their hands to suffer the torment of the damned.
Damn.
So, how was that?
That was a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whenever he has a little Marvel crossover, he always ends up in worse spots than before.
Yeah. But what do you think about this
now we got another great cliffhanger to leave us on. Now he's stuck in limbo where all of his enemies he banished are.
That's going to be great.
So let's start with, what did you think about the start of it? First, was that young kid.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of that story?
It was good, but it was kind of like pretty basic, except for Rom getting
issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a filler issue.
Wow.
Yeah. I think as it went on, things started getting more interesting again.
Yes,
yep, especially when Steve showed up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you see about the stuff with Hybrid? Boy, Hybrid, what a bastard!
I know. Freaky, dude.
In the words of Gorilla Monsoon from the WWF, disgusting.
I feel bad for his father to know that Wraiths are capable of love.
I know, a Wraith that actually humanized himself.
Yeah.
I think that was something they would touch upon. At least not Wraiths are like evil or something.
Yeah. I mean, we got some three-dimensionality out of this.
And unfortunately, he had to die for it.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
The greatest thing about Marvel is also it's most tragic. A lot of Shakespearean biblical tragedy.
I gotta say, though, this last issue was an interesting fight being stuck in a whirlwind of snow.
I've got every time I see the snowstorm, I'm thinking in my imagination, if this was animated, the snow constantly swirling around, it would have been a suspenseful episode.
Yeah, but to see all these shadows, I mean, this was really good. It's not like when Byrne did it, where it was just all white.
I know.
Byrne's a great artist, but sometimes he can be very simplistic.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, throughout all of this, it's just so interesting. And although I gotta say, the recaps are getting a little tedious, but it can't be helped.
We understand why you can skip them. You can't skip them if you wish.
Yeah, you can just skip them
unless there's something important.
Yep, but it looks like Claremont did help out with the issue, which makes sense. But again, this was an interesting tale overall, though. Just this whole thing about Hybrid, who has to be the most evil character we've seen so far.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And you keep forgetting he's just a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
But who cares? He doesn't act like one. He's just let his race self get the better of him.
Right, he basically turns into this alien. Hey, I will create hybrids of all the human race, and I'm like, Barfsville, that mass.
Especially when he was saying that to Kitty.
Yeah, exactly.
He was close to his own age, if you recall.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I forgot.
Yeah, but again, this was just epic. But then apparently the neutralizer has a kill setting.
I've set my laser from stun to kill.
Yeah, I was about to say, like Star Trek.
And if anyone attacks us, think of Blink. Dad, set your phasers to kill Mr. Spock.
Oh, yeah, sure. We can blink him to death.
I know. I said,
Yes.
I wish to do no harm, Captain, but they may leave us no choice. Jim, I'm a doctor, not a trick shooter. Cheddar. Like
all right, Eric. All right. But
sorry, I'm having too much fun.
but again, this was, of course, we're gonna see him dealing with Space Phantom. But again, overall, I think this was the best yet. It seems to get better and better with each episode, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, when you have the X-Men involved.
Yeah, it's like once Malvo found his groove, he knew exactly where he wanted to go, at least in the next issue.
I'm just glad Clairton now knows the truth.
Oh yeah, it was going to.
That
was my favorite issue. Was them helping him out.
Oh yeah, right.
I know that was great.
180. 80. Now we see, dude, you're a hero, man. Yeah, we're going to pay you back. You humans have given me faith again.
Yep. Also, the backstory, losing Reyna and all that. Like I said, let's be honest though, if you want to have any chance of him with Brandy, she had to go.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
One day he's lonely. If he killed my fiance, I could feel lonely too.
Yeah, but again, no. Like I said, this just keeps getting better and better, and yet. It's so interesting, this would match up with current TV shows that are being serialized, and yet it still feels, with the exception of the two-parters, like a consistent story.
It kind of does, yeah.
Absolutely.
I love Marvel was great back in those
days. Rom 18. Rom versus the X-Men. Enough said.
That's all you need to say.
Oh, remember to check your Merry Marvel checklist, true believers. Believers, don't worry, they're all. Don't worry, Shooter runs a tight ship.
Right, but though. So that's all we've got on this patch. We'll tune in next time as we go over the next 6 issues. But any final thoughts you guys want to give?
I'm having fun. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been getting better and better. I'm just loving every moment of it.
It's like every issue is either comedic or dramatic, and I love it.
Agreed. So we'll see you guys all on the next one.